always on when we were
Everybody
kids.
makes fun of Culture Club. They were a great group.
It was a night. I like that nightclub.
Hated them. Hated Boy George.
Gene, don't forget to.
Hated him.
Poor Boy George.
It's wacko.
Right there on the side. Yeah. You're on Facebook and you're on YouTube.
Woohoo.
Then we gotta go in there in public.
No, you have the iPod set up?
Yep, you're ready.
I heard it.
Yeah, really.
I have this backwards, but I don't care.
And begin.
All right. Are we ready to go with the disclaimer? Or
Yep,
we're going to say
it's
1 second?
8:29.
Yeah,
Let's
ready to
Not
go.
yet, not
Hold,
yet,
hold
not
on a
yet.
second.
Not yet.
Ready to go. 1 minute. 1 minute. The Alpha Tornado.
Oh, Alfie, is it?
What's it all about? Alfie?
You better not.
Great Dionne Warwick song.
I hope it was very strong milk.
Let me get.
I love when he tells you to go ahead then. Hold on.
No, back up.
Back up, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, you got to do it twice.
You're going to back up? Go ahead.
Because you'll be like, it was a great show, but I didn't get the first 12 minutes, buddy.
Which way should I go? Back up. I'll go ahead. You want me to back up? Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
My buddy.
And begin.
You ready to go? Yep. All right, let's see. What did we do this week?
Really?
And the show is over.
All right.
The opinions expressed by the hosts, callers, and guests are not those of Hamilton Radio, Armed Forces Radio, Raw Talk Online, 102 DLG Radio Orlando, QStarFM.com, or Animal House Radio. Some of the material broadcast on Animal House Radio may not be suitable for listeners under the age of 18. Listener discretion is advised.
Standing in a doorway, right by the stage. Feel your heart.
Very Beatles-ish, those chords.
Isn't it right?
Actually, John Lennon, Cold Turkey.
This is Great White.
I know. I'm saying the same chords as Cold Turkey by John Lennon.
They have great pyro.
Roots. Put the house down.
It's really hot.
Cold Turkey. Love that song.
All right, everybody.
It's a great song.
Welcome. It's Wednesday.
Woo!
It's time for the Animal House Radio Show.
That's a great song.
Shay Farrell is off tonight, but everybody else is here. He's working hard, so I give him
No,
a
he's
pass.
not.
Well, whatever he's doing, he deserves a break because he's a hardworking individual.
See, McDonald's, get to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Tonight's show is brought to you in part by Francesca's Italian Deli, 2119 Whitesville Road in Toms River, 732-363-5555. And Chef Ross has outdone himself tonight. Tonight's menu was roasted pork loin.
Yes.
And Mediterranean ravioli. And
It was all right.
And the garlic bread, too, was good, too.
The garlic bread was good.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. I loved the ravioli last week, but this week he went above
And the
and beyond.
pork was very tender.
Very
Yes.
tender.
And
Melts in your
juicy.
mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something. If you don't do pork the right way, forget about it. You have to do
That's
it
what she
the-
said.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You got a pork or good.
But Chef Ross wanted me to remind you guys that Easter is coming up, so if you need anything for the holidays,
Like meat pie?
a meat pie, a ham, whatever you guys
That would
eat
sell?
on Easter, yeah, whatever.
Ravioli with jelly beans?
There you go. A peanut butter sandwich at 3 o'clock. At the,
that's
at
A
the
little
Veneer
bit of
Mansion.
banana.
So anyway, I'm going to jump right in tonight, and Gene was getting fresh again, and I'll explain it to you.
Again.
Gene's very unappreciative of the little
Got a
things I
phone
try
call.
to do for him.
Got a phone call already.
Already?
Say hello.
Okay.
Hello, caller.
Bring him up. Hi, you're on the air.
Oh my gosh! No, I thought. Okay, hey, this is Terry's Chopper. I thought we were supposed to talk.
You're about you're about an hour and a half early.
But we're ready. But we're ready for you.
Early, guys.
We're ready for you.
Holy crap!
It's
Well,
okay.
hey, how's it going?
Oh,
Good,
it's
how you
all
doing?
good.
Excellent.
So while I got you on the air, what time do you guys want me to call in for sure? I just want to make sure.
Yeah, we'll do it
We
now.
can do it right now.
No,
Now.
stop saying that. No, 10:15, shit, Tara.
10:15?
Uh-oh.
Guys. No problem. I'll do it.
It's okay if you wear your leather pants. We don't.
Yeah, we like the
we
leather
don't
pants.
discriminate.
So it's going to be fucking like this.
No. I actually felt bad, man. Greg, they kept on picking on you on Greg Gulfield that night.
But you looked hot, so it's okay.
I thought it was great. I thought those pants were great, man.
It's all downhill from here.
Well, that's why he called. He wants to be prepared for later.
Yes.
But we're looking forward to it, Terry. And,
Now I know what I'm getting into with you people. So I will. I'll call you at 10:15.
Thank you so
I
much.
promise it'll be
Terry,
fun.
It's an honor to be talking to you tonight.
Definitely an honor and a pleasure.
Yeah, we're gonna look for it. We're gonna have some fun, buddy.
We won't be picking on you, I promise.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right, that is our guest for the 10:50. What are you saying now? Stop that. You get me in trouble.
I felt bad. He called him. I was going to call
It's like
him.
an hour
Oh,
later.
I have somebody already
Well,
coming in.
he's
What am I
a
gonna do?
Green Beret.
All right.
And,
He will cut her off.
That was Terry Shepard, who was scheduled for 10:15. He is the star
Goddamn
of the-
hero.
Yes, he is. He's he's the epitome of a hero. Let me just say.
See, he acted just like a Green Beret. Came in early.
Yeah, right.
We weren't expecting him. That's how they do it.
That'll teach you.
And he's on the star of the show Hollywood Weapons. Which,
Yeah.
Right.
if you remember when we had Joe Mantegna on, he told you that what they do is they simulate any kind of gun scene in a movie to see if it's like a MythBusters type of thing.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting. I've watched a few of the episodes, and I really like it.
You know what one they didn't do?
Which one?
The 88 Magnum. It shoots through schools.
There you go. Now you gotta mention that. To
You know
him.
what's very
will.
disturbing? That my two boys know more about weapons than I ever did.
Well, you know,
They're boys.
They have the Y chromosome.
11
because
and 6?
We were
Yeah.
we were eating
Wow.
breakfast the other day, and he started saying or mentioning
Well, there was a
all
bunch
these,
of military with
Yeah.
us eating.
Well, yeah, and he started mentioning all these names, and I'm like, where are you getting all these names from? Like, he's like, I watched a YouTube video. I'm like, block.
No, I mean you got to watch what they're watching, but you don't want to.
But he was like, oh, I know what an AK-47 is. I know what an assault
Yeah, I was
shotgun
getting
is."
nervous.
I'm like, what do you mean? You know? How do you know?
He knows the distinct sound the AK-47 makes.
Do not buy him a dart gun.
Do not.
Heartbreak Ridge.
Great movie.
He said he was watching a police video, which I don't mind. But if it's going to teach you, if that's what you're getting from it, then I don't want you to watch
Well,
that video.
he also should be watching that not by himself.
Yeah, I don't
know.
I blame the stepfather on that one.
No, but
Or
it
his
wasn't-
father.
It wasn't with us. It
I'm
was
kidding. I'm
telling-
kidding.
no.
I'm kidding.
No, because I make sure that they're, Dante was one time watching this thing. They were dressing up as superheroes, and this one girl was dressed up like Black Widow, and she was practically hanging out of her.
Good for her.
And
Thank
even
God.
she said, "Oh my God, look at that!" He was watching it because she had the big boobs
course.
and stuff. But it was just funny because he's a little hound dog.
What's that on?
That's disgusting. What video was that?
I don't remember. It was just it was really cheesy acting, people in bad costumes. But the Black Widow, she looked like
Women
a-
with large boobs and bad acting. I've seen many videos like that. You
Yeah.
know that, right?
Some of the best videos start out that way.
Sounds like a bracelet of
Yeah,
vampires.
what is that?
I mean, Shannon Tweed wouldn't have had a career with any of that. So come on.
That's funny.
Remember the one she was
Gene
in the
Simmons
ski
would be
movie?
single right now.
The ski movie she was in. What was that called?
Ski School? No, that was a different one.
Who?
Shannon Tweed.
Shannon Tweed. She was in a bunch of those 80s
She was in
B-movies.
Playboy.
schlocky type movies.
Yeah.
Back when
Um,
B movies were good.
I remember that too.
Because we were younger and we were watching for other reasons.
You know, son, I just watched one which is so ridiculous. Attack of the Killer Donuts. But, you know, the
Is there
girls are
such
kind
a
of.
movie?
Oh yeah. Oh no.
I
just
know
wa-
Killer Tomatoes. I've never heard Killer
Killer,
Donuts.
it's a new one. It came
It's a
out
sequel.
2 years ago. Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
And what do they roll down the street after you?
And they jump up and bite you and everything. It's great.
Nice.
Out of here.
It's like
Yeah, they
Revenge
do.
of the Donuts.
I can't.
Kind of.
That's funny.
That is.
Imagine Ed being chased by a donut.
You become the filling.
How great would that? That's karma right there.
But I
the
could
second
actually.
Ed gets chased by a
I
donut.
don't
I got a
think- I
hot
don't think
pleasure.
he'll
I'd
be-
save the world if I was attacked by donuts.
I really don't think he would be chased. He would be laying there with his mouth open.
If,
You know what I'm
don-
saying? I picture him
Both.
chasing the donut.
He'd eat his way out.
if the donuts tried to
These
take
were-
over the world, I'd be the one to save the world.
See, Ed, that's your next movie. You can save the world, but you're going to eat all the killer donuts.
Actually, my next movie is Topless World 2, The Revenge of Hooters.
Oh my God. What about the tilted kilt?
Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money.
On that.
So anyway, Gene got fresh with me today, as usual. I called him yesterday.
He goosed you?
Yeah, he grabbed your ass?
No. He's a man under a lot of pressure. He doesn't know which garbage can to buy his wife. So
Under pressure.
I know that's a very high pressure situation where you have to make sure you make the right choices. So I call him, and instead of saying hello, what do you want? And then he catches himself because he knows I'm going to hit him with a tire iron if he talks to me like that. He's like, what do you want? Oh, hi, caller. How you doing? What can I do for you? He sounds like one of those bank tellers that are, what are you doing?
He's giving you background
Under
music.
pressure.
Oh, okay. I was like, why is this guy is he having like a seizure?
Let's do background music for you.
So I had to tell
Paul
him
is just
something.
a very calm, quiet guy. So.
Yeah, I had to
Yeah.
talk to him about some of the pre-records we're doing, and he's like, and then today we had,
lover's
poor,
spat.
I feel bad for the guy because thank God we brought food because the poor guy don't even have a chair. He sits on a milk crate over there in the corner, and he's eating a bag of chips. And he's got a hole in his shirt.
I saw him chewing on
It's better than eating a bag of
I saw him
dicks.
chewing on a picture
That's
of
true.
food.
Very true.
He was chewing on a picture of food. That's what he was chewing on.
Attack of the Killer Donuts. I thought you were kidding, but that's a real thing.
I look like a
Unfortunately.
ghost with that light on me.
Yeah, but Ed, I can picture you doing a sequel to that, like being like a Pac-Man, and you have to eat all the Killer Donuts and just chasing them around Lyndhurst.
We can work on that.
Like a Tron type movie.
Yeah.
Like you're in it.
And the queen of the donuts is like this really hot alpha female.
Nice.
There you go. Maybe Simone
Like the weird
Danilicious.
science.
Yeah,
Maybe.
right.
But as they attack, you never know what's gonna happen.
You never know what's gonna happen. You get Boston cream.
Love Boston cream.
Me too.
But if you Gisela, you have one of
Powdered jelly donuts.
Gisela, you wanna? Okay, I want to give a big shout out to 102 DLG Radio in Orlando.
Edit.
And, sorry, DJ Friction and Chaz at rawtalkonline.com, Steve Jarrett at QStar FM, Rob Scribner at goodtalkradio.com, and now being heard on iHeartRadio.
Yeah.
And you can also listen to us on Spreaker and YouTube.
Absolutely. I will be adding more shows. I just haven't had the time to edit them. I know I'm going to put Joe Mantegna's show up, Patricia Heaton's, and very importantly, I wanted to just run down a couple of things that in a couple of weeks, next week we will have John DiMaggio, and I'm excited about this because I'm a geek, I'm a gamer, okay, I'm sorry. John DiMaggio was the voice of Marcus Phoenix in the Gears of War series. For those of you
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I know you
I don't
heard
play
of it,
video
having a
games.
kid.
I heard of it, but I never
Yeah.
played it.
I don't play video games.
And I know Shay would know who that is. But if you're a gamer and you're a geek, you'll know who Marcus Phoenix is. He's got a very distinct voice. He's also...
So none of our fans are going to know.
No. John Bender is also the voice of Bender on John
Futurama?
DiMaggio, Futurama. He's also the voice of Bender.
Yeah, by the
So-
time you get to Phoenix, I'll be crying.
Phoenix.
The song. Go ahead.
Oh. And we have him. And then March 14th, we have Terry Kaiser.
Staken. Oh,
I love Terry Kaiser.
Bernie
Oh, nice.
Lomax from Weekend at Bernie's. Bruce Campbell from Ash versus the Evil Dead. Evil Dead.
and from Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2.
Yes.
More amazingly.
and
Burn Notice.
and Xena.
Yes, I
and
like him
Xena.
in Burn Notice.
And Xena.
Xena,
Yeah.
Hercules, Kelly Hugh, the Scorpion King. That's a pre-record that's going to happen tomorrow.
Yes.
Hughes on first.
We'll be doing Rod Stewart closer to the summer because he's going to be coming to our area. Howie Mandel once American Idol comes back on the air. So we got a lot of big guests coming on. So hopefully,
Really, really big show.
really, yes,
Really big
exactly.
shoe.
So make sure you stay tuned for that. And that's pretty much the rundown. But just a reminder, like I said, if you need Easter food, got to check out Francesca's Italian Deli. Call them 732-363-5555. Tell them you were Animal House Radio recommended you, and they'll charge you double. No, I'm just kidding.
Food.
So
That's great.
anyway, Gene, do you have an explanation for your behavior this week? Or by any
Do you have a
chance?
note? Do you ever bring a note from parents?
You have a hole in your shirt. It says, "Together we can make a difference." And so you expecting somebody to give you a needle and thread to sew it, or I mean?
No, he's just going to grab another shirt out of the bin. I know, Gene. I'm with you on that one.
I don't want to hem and haw, but
I can always count on you, Paul, for a quick quip. We only need one pin, Rodney. So, Giselle, you want to run down your questions?
Okay, I gave softball questions this week because we have a packed show tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
So, inquiring
We're
minds.
moving?
Have you ever set two friends up on a date?
No.
And if so, how did it go? And if not, why wouldn't you set up two friends?
Screw them. That's their problem.
Yeah. I have a hard enough time setting myself up.
I just love my
Who am I?
guys.
Who am I? Chuck Woolery?
Yeah.
This ain't
Chuck
the dating
Woolery.
game.
See you in 2 and 2.
You never ever,
Wooly
your whole
bun.
entire life, even
Wooly
when you were
bun.
younger, never set up two people.
No, that'd be stupid.
Stupid is.
I
is
did. I
stupid
hope
The only
that-
is.
time I ever did that is if I was trying to like be with the one girl and her friend wanted somebody. I'm like, yeah, him, Sean.
Yeah.
Well, Vic DiBitetto set us up. Was that stupid?
Well, not really.
No, I like that he did that for you and me.
He didn't
Nice,
set
right?
us up.
Yeah.
He
He set us up good.
no, he didn't
and
set us
and
up.
I scammed you good.
Well, that's what it. She inboxed me because she was doing that. What do you call that?
She
Marketing.
slid into your DMs.
What do you call that marketing?
It was 90
multi-level
MLM.
marketing. There you go. I couldn't think of the word.
It was Body by Vi, the 90-day challenge.
Visalis, yeah. And she
Visalis.
tried to.
I remember
said
that.
I ain't happy.
Remember Vic was doing the videos? The
I
brother-
knew lots of people
I
that were
was
doing that.
I was opening for Vic at the time, and we were traveling together, and he was doing this thing called Visalis.
Traveling
and
Wilburys.
He was making a lot of money from it. He kept telling me, "You got to try this," because he knew I was all into.
But
the-
he wasn't shitting. He and I were making a lot of money at
Yeah,
that time.
I was going to the gym at the time, so I was Joe Health, but I didn't like the product because it had soy protein, and soy protein is no good.
Yeah.
I'm a whey protein guy.
So Vic DiBitetto says to me,
I'm away from
Gisela, you really got to help this guy out. He's a comedian. He's a struggling comedian, and you know
He didn't
needs.
say that.
Yes, he did.
He
He,
didn't
goes,
say
he
that.
needs help, and then he tried to.
Well,
bring
he
him up.
does need help.
He goes, but
Yeah,
he
he
has a
does
good
need help.
acting career. He was in The Sopranos. He's in Law and Order. He's in, he has a big career like me. So maybe you could help him out like you're helping me out. I said, sure. So I inboxed Carlo. I said, hey, Carlo, this is Gisela. Welcome to Body by Vi, the 90-day challenge. Blah, blah, blah. I'm Gisela, and if you need anything, I'm here to
Here's
help.
the scripted story.
Well, he wrote back, I am not interested in the product. Soy protein is not great for male hormones, blah, 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 la, la, la. And then I tell Vic, I said, Vic, he's not interested. He goes, what
it
are you
wasn't
talking?
Vic, it was Vinny.
No, it was Vic. I go, Vic, he's not
You told me
interested.
it was Vinny.
No. He's not interested. He goes, what do you mean he's not interested? He signed up. I says, listen, he probably signed up to kiss your ass.
No,
But
that's-
I didn't come here to watch you two
This
fight.
is not the story. She's just lying on the air. She had no idea.
That is really
I-
the story.
She had no
He's gonna
idea that I
change it on
signed
his
up
side.
and canceled till way after it. So,
So
she's-
You told
she
me.
is so full of shit.
You told me you
what were you
canceled.
struggling?
Yeah, afterwards, you didn't know that. You didn't know that
You
to
said
tell
it in the-
Vic.
and I have
you
the-
weren't even talking to him when I told
Wait,
you
do you
that.
want me
so
to?
Another
I have
episode of the
email.
Bickersons, folks.
you have the email, but you
Save.
found out all this after the fact. So don't stop lying.
Duh, I'm
he
not
never
lying.
said I was struggling, and it wasn't Vic that told you. It was the guy Vinny Guida from
No, Vinny
Freehold.
Guida was painting you out like you were like,
What were,
you know,
what were you struggling with coming out of the closet?
James Gandolfini.
Sitting next to you every fucking week.
All I know,
60 minutes.
all I know is if she was helping him out with his career, the only thing she's done is got him arrested.
So can we get back to the question now? Can we get back to the fucking question now?
He got himself arrested, by the way. I was against driving him there that day. But go ahead. Next.
Go ahead. So go ahead, Ed. You're the first one to answer the question.
I already answered.
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah, he doesn't
Yeah.
want to be a
I said
lover.
I'm not helping it. What if I want to bang the girl later? Now she's hooked up with my friend. I can't bang her. What kind of dope
Since
shit
when
is
did that stop you?
I never bang my friends' girls.
I'm with you on that one.
Okay.
Actually, Gisela knows one of the guys that I set up. My friend Jack Calandra, who owns a pizzeria up in
He owns a
North Jersey.
bakery?
He's related
Does he
to
make
them.
the
Yeah,
bread?
that's his cousins.
Can we get some bread in here?
Oh, anytime you want. I set him up with his first wife, Delia, and they were married for a long time, and then it just turned to shit. So I felt bad because I kind of like, because she was related to a family that was owned at a restaurant, and they were like kind of, it was a good fit, but then she turned into like something, whatever, I don't know, and it went sour. So I don't know. He's
There's always drama. There's always drama involved.
I don't know. It was all about money. She's like, he lost a ton of money. He had to close 2 restaurants, and it was.
So it worked out really good.
So from now, I tell her.
So with the money back guarantee, he found her a second wife.
This one wants to be cute, but I'm like, don't get in the middle of nothing, man.
That's always bad.
She was trying to hook up Linda Sorrentino with people.
So
So what does that mean?
she was looking for love.
Yeah, well, she wasn't looking
In
for
all the wrong places.
Right. She's not going to find it in her kitchen baking cookies.
Hey, you never know.
I don't know. I don't know what the address is.
Hey, don't be silly. Steak and blowjob day is right around the corner, March 14th.
Hey, you want to set somebody up?
Cookies are good every day. I'm
Every
just saying.
day.
Yeah, if you want to set somebody up, that's the way you set them up. I never set anybody up. Know why? Because I was afraid. I was afraid if I set somebody up and they end up enemies, and I lose 2 friends.
It's all your fault then, yeah.
But no, but I tell you something. That
One of
always
them
happens.
gets you in a divorce.
Right. Yeah, you come
You only
custody.
lose one friend.
Yeah, it's true. I tell you one thing that has happened to me a lot over the years. People have come to see my show on a first date. A lot of times they end up getting married.
Well, that's cool.
That's happened a lot. A lot
Yeah,
of
but
times
you
people
don't,
come up to me
you've
and say,
never heard any horror stories, right?
No.
No, see, so.
No. But that's amazing to me that
Yeah, but
that's
you,
happened a
you
lot.
you don't physically.
No, I
like,
nothing
say,
to do.
hey,
No, I
this
don't get
is
involved in people's
so-and-so.
affair. No.
Are you sure no one went to your show, went home, and then the girl said, "You're not as funny as Paul," and then he beat the hell out of her?
Not that I know of. I'm not aware.
Not
of that.
yet.
No.
Threw in the trunk of his car and drove his car into a river?
I'm not aware. No, she probably said, I'd rather go out with you than that fucking clown I saw on stage.
And we bet in 2 and 2, 2 and 2.
Oh no. What about you, Dave?
I've never done that. It's like I said, I've only been where I set somebody up with like the friend with the girl I wanted to be with. That's the only time it is worth.
So it
worth
backfired.
No, it didn't backfire.
Oh,
Just
okay.
I wanted to be with her, and she had a friend. So I'm like, I got a friend.
Yeah, go talk to her.
The old switch.
Yeah.
Go
The old
talk to her so I
switcheroo.
can bang her.
Yeah, exactly.
The most I
And
would
sometimes
do.
you got to take one for the team too.
The most I would do is if somebody likes somebody, I would just mention it to them, and then I'm out.
Right, then they're on their own. Right.
Then I'm out.
Right.
I'm out. I'm
I agree.
tapping out.
I agree. There's no sense getting involved. That kind of
No
stuff.
need being a yenta about it.
Yeah.
Years ago, it wasn't bad, but now it's even worse because it's like forget. And then it turns into a Jerry Springer episode, and I'm not getting into all that.
Jerry.
Cool.
That was a good.
Steve,
That question.
Steve,
That
Steve.
That question.
that
was
question
pretty-
wasted 10 minutes.
That was
Yeah.
pretty fiery. Okay.
What else can we get Carlo all wrapped up about?
Yeah, really. Now I want you to think about something that you can't leave your home with. So name something that you can never leave your home without. Don't say cell phone
Donuts.
or wallet.
The wallet. Yeah.
The landlord's deed to the place.
My dick.
Well, you
Yeah.
need that.
No, my wallet. That's the only thing I can
That's
think
it?
of. That's the only thing I'd never leave home without.
My car, I'm not walking anywhere.
Yeah. Well, car keys because your car's not in the house.
Don't leave home without it.
Allegedly.
American Express. Never leave home without it.
So you're going away, let's say, on the road trip. What would you bring with you?
Wallet.
Wallet,
That's
cell
it?
phone.
Just a wallet? Oh, because you go for the day. You don't stay overnight.
Right.
But if you were to stay overnight, what would you bring?
Paul brings his props.
Clothes. I bring clothes.
All right.
Change of clothes. That's it.
You?
Oh, my
Extra-
equipment.
Extra money for a hooker if I'm staying over.
What I
And duct
can't
tape.
leave without.
Only one?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's only one night.
Some form of a weapon, I guess. Not a gun, but something just in case I get.
Not a
BB gun.
gun.
And then you
a
wonder
knife.
why
Yeah.
you're getting
So
up
now-
in
No,
jail.
no. The gun. The
He has
Right.
piano strings.
Vinny, get the
No.
fat.
Right now, Robbinsville police is going through his car.
no. The one of the things I always have on me is a retractable sigh in case of a situation.
In case you get sad.
Yeah.
Is that a retractable size like this?
No, it's
Is that retractable?
It looks like a trident. It's about this big, but then you press a button and it opens up and it's like a
Yeah, I know.
steel
It's like a
baton.
spring. It's like a spring.
And it's only this big
Taser.
though. When you
Yeah.
well, taser, forget about it. You kill somebody with a taser.
No, that some people don't affect. Some
But
people,
not
some
with
people
a
get
scout.
mad.
No, I wouldn't like to leave the house, but I can't go out unless
Oh, no.
I don't have any.
Don't shoot him. It'll only make him angry.
I feel bad not having money.
Mongo.
You gotta have some kind of money on you in case you never know when you have an
Yeah, that's why.
emergency.
Yeah, exactly. Uh-oh. Who's calling in?
Bring them up when you're ready, Gene.
Hello, phone call.
It's Tom again.
Hi, you're on the air.
Hi, this is Erica Aleniak.
Hey,
You guys did not give me a phone number to call you.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
literally Googled you. I'm
Oh, wow.
panicking over here at home going, oh my God, where's the phone number?
Wow,
funny.
I'm sorry about
I know
that.
I felt something. I was getting Googled.
There's a reason the intern just left early. So
Yeah,
I don't
really.
know.
He's fired.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
No.
I'm like,
No.
oh, no.
That's not on you, that's
What
on the
am I gonna
intern.
do?
We're gonna
This is
deal with
so
him later.
unprofessional.
Yeah, I apologize.
We're happy that you were persistent enough to find
Yes.
out.
Yeah, thank you.
Somebody.
No, you're welcome. Well, I don't want to let anybody down. That's awful. Anyway, how is everybody?
We're
doing
doing
good.
very
Much better
good.
now.
Yes.
Let me do my thing here, Erica. Let me give you a proper introduction. All right, the
Okay.
time is 8:55. Joining us now on the phone is an actress, a model, and all-around entertainer. Joining us for the first time here on Animal House Radio Show. Please welcome the phenomenal Erica Aleniak.
Yeah.
Aw,
It's official.
hello.
It's official. You're on the
That
air.
nice intro.
Thank you so much, Erica. I sure I
He
speak.
teaches an intro school.
Yes, I do.
I need to take that class.
I'm sure I speak for everybody here when I say we're big fans of yours, and thank you for taking the time to join us tonight.
Yep.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
I don't know where to start with you, but usually it's very customary.
Nobody does.
But they know where to finish. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
Go
kidding. One of the things I like to do is when I have a guest on for the first time, I wanted to get like some background. How did it start for you that you wanted to become an actress? When you
I actually didn't initially want to become an actress. I wanted to be a truck driver,
Really?
a lawyer, a parapsychologist,
Wow.
a dancer, and a mafia princess.
That's a lot of
That
jobs.
was a great mix.
That's the
But
life.
actress, it happened because I was 10 years old, and my dad actually was dating someone at the time who worked for a film company. And whenever they needed extras, my dad and my sister and I would go and do these little like training commercials. So if you want to work at, you know, a chicken place, they got to show you the films on what you're going to do there. And we would be in those little training films. So yeah, just bizarre. It just kind of stuck, you know, got some headshots done and kind of went on some go-sees and just, yeah. And that's sort of how it all began. I think I really started modeling, doing some commercials and things like that really the first couple years. And my mom really took over, and she was the opposite of a stage mother. So she kept my butt in school.
Oh, okay.
And if I booked anything that, you know, wanted to make me up and make me look older, like for modeling, we would like get the job, and then she wouldn't let me do it. So, yeah. But yeah, that's kind of how the journey began.
At what point did you actually catch the bug and say, "Hey, this is something I could really get into here"?
I think probably, I want to say middle school. I mean, it started definitely early for me, and I took some classes, and then in high school was in the drama class. So between middle school and high school, for sure.
Oh, wow.
I got the bug.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And you know, as you know, the show is carried on Armed Forces Radio Network. So I know all our servicemen and women.
And can I just say thank you so much for what you guys do. You sacrifice so much to keep us safe, and I am my family are so incredibly grateful to you guys and gals for all that you do. So thank you.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And one of my co-hosts here on the show, his name is Dave Hodge. He's a former Army veteran, and he's also
Hi,
a big
Dave.
fan of yours.
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Hi.
How are you?
Good. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Eric, I have to ask you a question. I love the movie Under Siege, and not for
Me
the
too.
reasons that you think. I'm obviously
That's why I love it.
your role was very good in it. I love the movie as a whole.
Yep.
Now I know
Thank
this
you.
is going to sound stupid. Was the movie actually filmed on the Missouri, or was that CGI?
No, but we filmed it actually on the Alabama.
There was no CGI back then.
Wow. Yes.
So no, I mean, this was the real crazy deal. I think, like my entire filming, we were in Mobile, Alabama.
Right.
So it was the USS Alabama,
Right.
and which is a stationed museum now. But we filmed everything, the gun battles, everything.
Wow. Wow.
Crazy battles in there with shrapnel flying all around and just really crazy. You had to watch bumped your head so many times.
Yeah, it's scary.
Those little doorways made of metal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, we shot actually on the ship. And then I think they literally just had, from what I understand, in the 3.5 months that we filmed, only like 2 or 3 days in a studio. So they did do some, but very little. They really shot all of it, the nitty-gritty stuff right on the ship.
And that was the last time that Gary Busey looked normal.
It was a very long time ago, that
I heard that Gary Busey's going to be a life coach for Charlie Sheen.
I hope so.
Oh, jeez.
movie. I would watch that. So, wouldn't you?
That was
Yes.
that was
I would tune into that. That would actually be really, really good, I think.
that was a great cast too.
Definitely
That
better
was,
than anything the Kardashians.
that
did,
was a
so.
great cast too, though.
Oh no.
Yeah, oh God, honestly, that was
Tommy Lee Jones.
I mean, Tommy Lee Jones and Gary Busey, watching them work together was
Yeah.
incredible. I mean, all this, I don't know how much of what we actually ended up with on film was scripted, because
Right.
these guys would just, their chemistry was insane. Just watching them work, they would just go to work. I mean,
Yeah.
they would just take their scripts and cross this out and just start a conversation, and it was just nuts just to watch them go, okay, we'll do this, and then we'll,
Right.
so much of that was not even scripted, what you ended up seeing. They were
Right.
just, it was like so cool to sit back and take it all in, you know,
Yeah.
and watch them work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they became the characters they were portraying. Yeah, they did a great job.
That's the amazing part about the movies, the earlier movies like in the 80s and 90s. You know,
Yeah.
we talk to a lot of celebrities, and they always tell us that most of the stuff that we know as viewers and watchers are gold was all improv scenes that they weren't in the actual script, and that's where I think the
Right.
the quality comes from a movie, and that's what I was going to ask you, and not just for Under Siege. When you do a lot of the films, was there a lot of leeway given to you as an actress to ad lib at all, or?
I would say, well, it definitely depends on your director.
Right.
100%, right? Because especially if you have a writer-director, then it's hard. Because
Right.
sometimes people are married to every word.
Yes.
You know, and then it can be very, very hard, or they're really, really set on their vision and there's really no room. I would say that has not been the majority of my experience, though, and that the majority of the time, you know, directors welcome the input and the collaboration, because honestly, if you don't like an idea, you don't do it, but the more the merrier, right? I mean, the more creativity that's thrown out there on the table, the better the chances are of making the film brilliant. And it's interesting because if you think about, I don't know, getting away from a little bit the CGI, not that, you know, I'm not at all knocking it. I mean, what it's done for films is crazy, but you know, there's pros and cons to everything. I'm also a big fan of the old movies like the 70s where, you know, you'd watch a movie that would keep you riveted on the edge of your seat for 2.5 hours, and it was people. It was literally relationships. You know, you were involved and you were invested in the characters. And for that to happen, not only the writing, but the chemistry between the characters, and then that's where your magic comes in, right? That improv and that actual relationship that's developing as the characters. And it's just this whole crazy process. But you're 100% right. It's I think that is where the magic really happens.
Yeah.
And when you're not allowed that creative license, it's hard. It's very hard, because now if your vision, or if you're not trusting your director or feeling the same kind of feels, you know, it's hard because you've got to sell it. You've got to do your job.
And the performance is going to be different because now you're not, you know what I'm saying? If you're not into it,
Totally.
It becomes stiff.
You know what? I got to tell you, though,
100%.
I watch a lot of TV, and I know, and not to knock the newer, there's a lot of great movies that have come out, but I guess I'm stuck in a decade. I'm in 70s and 80s. And, you know, I find myself when I'm watching TV, when I'm, you know, searching the channels, the movies that I find that I'm watching are 25 plus years old, and I'll watch them more than once. You know, nothing against these movies today, but there's not many movies that in the last 10 years that I could, if it was on, I'll watch it. But if 16 Candles is on, or Animal House, or The Breakfast Club, I'll watch it every time.
Classics. Absolutely. Urban Cowboy. I mean, oh man, there were some great, great movies. Terms of Endearment, Steel Magnolias. There's so many movies that when they pop back up, I'm just tuning right in. It's true. It's 100% true. There's a ton of them. Really great.
I'm the same way.
Great
If I'm going
movies.
through the channels and a movie's like, it's a movie that I really love, it's halfway through, I'll still watch it. I'll watch a little bit, and I'll watch the whole thing again.
Goodfellas. Oh my
Goodfellas,
God.
yeah.
And that's my favorite all-time. That and It's a Wonderful Life. Polar.
You just named my favorite movie.
But
Yeah.
when
That's my favorite
Goodfellas
movie.
comes on, I don't care where it is in the movie, how far along it is. I've got to watch it.
I
have
lo-
to
I
do it.
love
And
you.
you're
You just-
never not into it. You're never
Casablanca, too.
You're
And just
sucked
recently,
right in.
Under Siege has been playing, and we've been watching
Yeah, that's been
that.
on a
This-
lot, and I
Yeah,
watch it
3
every
times
time.
this week.
I watch it all the time.
Really?
Yes.
Awesome.
I can't believe you named them my favorite. My favorite movie is It's a Wonderful Life. It's my favorite movie of all time. I can't believe you named
Same.
it.
I watched it once. I feel like 30 times in the summer.
Yeah, I can watch it no matter what
It's a
time of the year
weird
it is.
summer.
Do you ever notice that when you catch a movie on in mid-movie that you always catch it at the same part?
No.
Sometimes I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's real.
What's that about?
I don't know.
I believe Ed wants to.
Intuition.
Yeah, Ed's got a question for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Erica,
Hi,
how are
Ed.
you? Ed Ruffalo here.
Hi, Ed.
Hi, Erica. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, first, I got to say, I feel like I owe you a car or a house or a tropical trip just from watching you on Baywatch.
I'll take it, Ed.
You actually got to play the girlfriend of two of my favorite actors at
Aw.
one point or another, Scott Baio and John Stamos.
And who? And John Stamos?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which-
Oh, I'm so happy for him lately,
I'm
right?
happy
With the
for the both
baby
of
and
them, I
getting
know.
married and
Yeah.
what a that's
Yeah.
so awesome.
I tell you what, I love them both. I follow both their careers. If you had to be one of their girlfriends, who would you rather be? Scott Baio's or John Stamos?
Well, that's not right. You put him on a spot like that.
I'm just wondering because I'm just
It
trying
is
to.
a very odd question considering they're both married,
Right.
so no disrespect to either of them.
None at all, but I'm
Um,
just.
Ed is very odd as well, so that's okay.
Yes, I am very strange, but I'm just trying to find out like which one's like a better guy. I love them both to death.
Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
I know they're both
You know,
married. I
I-
love their wives. I think they're great people.
Yeah, and so the thing is, for me, it's been so long, really, since I've been in touch with either one of them either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like John Stamos, because I was dating a very good friend of his, so we would all,
Right.
many years ago, he was dating such a lovely girl, Paula Abdul.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Never heard of her.
Many years ago. And I dated Billy Warlock, and the four of us would go hang out. We'd just go to the zoo, just
Right.
random things, go out to dinner, just hang and go motorcycle riding. And
Right.
he's a super down-to-earth. That's why I'm so happy for him, and I haven't spoken with him in years, but he
Yeah.
always wanted that family,
He
to
seems
raise
like it.
kids and
Yeah.
have a good wife, and just like that's what I remember about him was just that he was a real solid guy.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so we did not date in real life, just in the
Right, just in a
yeah.
TV
So,
show.
but I just would say that I don't. And Scott, I mean, we kind of hung out for a month or so, a little bit, but I was, gosh, I don't know, not 18, 19. I mean, I was so young.
Yeah.
And I haven't spoken with them in so long that, we change as people so much. I don't really know, much about them today. So it's a hard question. But what I do remember about John is just he's a great guy. He's a great guy.
One of our listeners just wrote in, and his name is Robert, so we'll say hello. And he wants to know,
Hi, Robert.
are you single right now?
Happily so. Yeah. Happily single.
You're
yes.
better off.
I might have to take you on that vacation.
Listen, the best advice I got off a Bazooka Joe bubblegum wrapper. And it says, it's better to be alone than in bad company.
That's true.
Very true.
There
That's
you
so
go.
true.
And for me, I'm not, I have girlfriends who'll go on the dating sites or they'll go to some freaking weird bar thing where they're like, well, you get a key, and if the key fits in the lock, I'm just like,
No.
oh my God.
No.
Go have fun with that. Woo.
That's after the trouble.
I mean,
My friend Paul, that's how his parents met. So not this Paul.
sorry, Paul. Hey, then,
Not me.
there's always an exception to the
Listen,
rule.
Erica, you stick to getting your wisdom from the from the Snapple
Bazooka.
caps. You're doing fine.
Bazooka bomb. Bazooka bubblegum.
No
Oh, Bazooka.
Snapples.
Bazooka Joe. Snapple cap.
Those are fun
I'm going to
facts.
try those next.
Eric, I don't want to get your hopes up, Erica, but the car that Ed was going to buy you was a Mini Cooper, so I don't want to get your hopes up.
Oh, man.
So,
But a convertible.
It's
so
actually
all
a
right.
smart car with no wheels.
Which is basically a shoe.
so any kind of nookie in the car is out of the question. It's a physical
Well-
impossibility.
Keep the windows
perfect.
open.
Unless you're a contortionist.
That's it. I'm going to ask you, Erica. This is Paul. I'm going to ask you again. You were in E.T., but what part did you have in E.T.? I don't remember. Well,
Yeah. So remember in E.T., you wouldn't probably remember the bus stop, but it starts at the bus stop when all the kids are
Halloween.
waiting to go
Right.
to school.
Right.
And then in the classroom, they're going to dissect frogs.
Right.
And the teacher is kind of walking up and down the aisles, and
Right.
Henry is making eyes at a girl who's totally disgusted by him because he belches, and she
Oh.
rolls her eyes.
Yeah.
That was
And
you.
then when they're going to actually start dissecting the frogs, that whole kind of sequence, and then there's a kiss in slow motion when the TV is on Maureen O'Hara and John Wayne, and
Right.
E.T.'s at home drunk, so he's switching the channel. So then simultaneously, Elliot grabs the girl. So I'm the girl in all of that
Oh,
sort
wow.
of sequence.
That must have been cool being on the set with what's it, Spielberg. That must have been pretty cool.
Well, the thing is, though, because people always ask me that, I was 12.
Right.
And, I mean, he was awesome, and
Right.
I really kind of related to him more like what a cool guy he was. I
Right.
mean, he was just so great with the kids, and I remember all the school props that we had on the set. They had those pens,
Right.
which were new, and they were scented pens, and I remember Steven, tasting them to see if they tasted how they smelled. He was just funny and cool with the kids, and
Right.
I cried when I had to do that kissing scene. So he was so sweet. He closed the set. He explained what that was, what a closed set was,
Right.
and that he came and talked to my mom and me for like 10 minutes. And
Right.
then he had to talk to Henry, who was upset too because he was in a girl haters club.
He's a little
and then
rascal.
Plus, I was an older woman. I was 12 and he was 10.
Right.
So, it was sensitive. It really was.
Yeah,
And he was
yeah.
a really great guy. But I didn't know the magnitude of who he was
Right.
when I was 12.
Yeah, he was legendary
what I
already
mean?
at that point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, out of all your movie projects, Erica, which one
Yeah.
are you most proud of that you say, "Wow, I'm glad I was a part of this"?
Two
worse than the
for
Scott
me,
Baio question.
for totally different reasons. But the most fun, from top to bottom, was the Beverly Hillbillies.
Oh yeah, there
Yeah,
you
that was
go.
good.
Ellie Mae.
That cast was insane, and
Yeah.
I would just go to work so blessed every day like a sponge and just try and take in everything. I
Right,
mean,
right.
oh my God, Lily Tomlin, Cloris Leachman,
Right.
Dietrich Bader, Dabney Coleman. I mean, I'm forgetting a trillion people that were in that movie.
Jim
Rob
Varney.
Schneider, Leah Thompson. There were so many great people.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
In
Jim
that film.
Varney.
Jim Varney was great in
Was
that, too.
great, man. He was
Jim
funny.
Varney. Okay, see, hi, the star of the movie. One of the nicest,
Yep.
most gentle, kind souls I have ever met in my life.
And
I will
qui-
tell
and-
you a
yeah.
really quick story about Jim.
Good. Good.
We were sitting in the makeup trailer and just shooting the right? Just talking, just getting made up and just idle conversation. And I remember saying that I had a hope chest I bought a hope chest, and I was going to start like a quilt collection, just blabbing,
Right.
I wanted kids, la la la, just talking. Like a year after the film wraps, I get this box,
Oh no.
two handmade quilts from a little old lady in his town where he lived in Tennessee, a queen size one, and one baby quilt for my hope chest.
That's so cool.
Oh wow.
Like, what?
Wow.
How did, it took me a minute to go, what's happening? How, why? And I went, oh my God.
He never forgot. He never
Yeah.
forgot. Yeah.
Right? I mean, and that's how he was. And he could tell you something about anything. 20
Right.
minutes on whatever. I swear to you, I would challenge you if you were here today to pick any topic on this planet, and he'll give you 20 minutes on it. He was just brilliant.
He was a good
brilliant.
guy and very quiet. He's a very quiet kind of guy. He wasn't like loud.
Yeah.
The voice was like his
He
character.
was-
No.
What you see is what you got with him. He was a country boy, a gentleman,
Yeah.
and I always liked the Ernest character. That was hysterical.
Yeah. And he was the opposite of Ernest in person,
Right.
though. He was just so soft-spoken
Exactly.
and so kind, and the things that would come out of his mouth were so, just
Yeah.
intelligent and kind, and just, he was a wonderful soul.
Yeah.
So that was my favorite, working with the animals and just that cast, and Penelope Spheris, the director. That was great. Plus, it was a big studio movie, so it was
Right.
really fun to work on a film that, you weren't on a tight little budget, and it was just fun, all the way
Yeah.
around. And then the other one was really the polar opposite in terms of everything. It was called The Opponent, and everything was sponsored. It was low budget. I played a ring girl who is in an abusive relationship who turns boxer. But I truly trained my butt off for that movie I was in New York, Portchester, Rye, Brooklyn, all over Manhattan. We were everywhere for about 4.5 months. And, man, that was hard. I did my own fighting. I did not have a stunt person.
Oh wow.
I remember getting clocked at one point and then breaking this poor girl's nose by accident. It was crazy. But it was just the opposite, it was the real nitty-gritty. Right. It was, and then I remember the best compliment ever. I snuck into a Q&A out here. Now, we had one in, I don't know, West Hollywood or something like that. And one of the audience members was not familiar with me or past work, which was great because they said, was the actor you hired a boxer. And that was like, oh God, thank you. Now I can
Right.
eat.
Yeah.
You know, like if I fooled you, then I did my job. And
Exactly.
people are always out to, you know, knock you down and
Absolutely,
make
yeah.
their
Oh, yeah.
judgments and oh, she couldn't pull that off, and you know, that kind of thing. So that made me very happy. So that one I'm really proud of in terms of just the hard work.
Yeah. How long you have to train for that? Probably a lot, right?
About 4.5 months.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Dave?
Yeah, this is Dave Hodge again.
Hi, Dave.
I want to do the opposite. I want to ask about the Marilyn Monroe project that you're working on right now.
Oh wow.
You know, not working on it.
Oh,
One of those
okay.
things that, no, it's still on the IMDb, and it was something that really interesting project, but it's where I left it is they never got their funding together. So it never got green lit, but it was a very interesting story about a woman who, and in fact, I believe, don't quote me here because it's been so long since I've sort of talked about this project, but I know she was on a talk show for sure because this was a real deal,
Right.
who claims to be the reincarnation
Oh jeez.
of Marilyn Monroe.
All right.
Sounds like Madonna.
Well, and so, like, they had her, you know, she was on with a doctor, a psycho analyst,
Right.
and I mean, and she was on a talk show. So this was like a true story of this woman
Right.
and her claims. And that was a really cool story, you know,
Right.
really interesting. But it never took off.
But did you know anything
So,
about?
and I really
yeah.
haven't heard from them in a few years.
I hope it does.
Did they ever find out if the lady was on the level or not? I mean, they're able to do tests and find out.
Well, from what I understand, because one of the people that I spoke to was a doctor who was 100% convinced.
Wow.
Oh, okay. As long as she
100%.
wasn't like the Son of Sam and getting orders from her dog or something.
Yeah.
God, I hope not.
Yeah. Hey, Erica, when it comes to the Baywatch, now was that something that you were sought out for, or you auditioned for that?
I auditioned for that. Gosh, you know, when Baywatch first came out, it was. Do you guys remember those 2-hour movies that were always in competition with each other on Sunday night, like
Right.
ABC,
Yeah.
NBC, CBS, right?
Yeah.
They would be like 2-hour movies.
Right. Yep.
Some of them would be backdoor pilots. So if they did well,
Right.
they would then turn into a series. Okay, so Baywatch ended up being on NBC, and it was the most conservative network at the time
Right.
that we had. And I auditioned for the network and Grant Tinker, who at the time owned the rights, I think 6 times. It was a kind of a brutal process. It was up the ladder, and then network, and then with the other actors that were already cast, or you know who they were thinking of casting to see if you had chemistry.
Right.
Oh gosh, all of that, and then also. This wasn't as much part of getting the audition, but part of the process was to swim. So they knew how much they needed to cover you if you couldn't swim well. You know, did they
Right.
have to hire stunt people or
Right.
that first year? So everything we did was by the book. The suits were regulation in the first year. In order to continue to get sponsorship, it was a really conservative kind of situation. So
Oh, wow.
Hey,
yeah, it was like a major audition.
You were
process.
under siege. You know how to swim. You were on a boat.
That's right. Dang it.
Was it even though it was they had to conform to the strict? Was it fun to work on that set?
You know what I missed the most about that show was the camaraderie really between the cast and the crew.
Right.
It was a blast. It was sort of like everyone was brothers and sisters, and
Right.
you know, the cameraman was Uncle Jimmy, and you know, it was such a great group of people that it was a lot of fun. Now, I will say the first year, you know, it was all new, and you have deadlines. When you're having to prove yourself to
Right.
get picked up as well, it's not like once the show has been on for a handful of years and you can kind of call the shots. So we basically had deadlines. We shot in the winter.
Right.
We used huge Kino lights, and those makeup girls, God bless them, they tried so hard to keep us warm, but they would come at us with sprayers to make us look sweaty.
Right.
When it's like 50 degrees at the beach and the wind is blowing, and you
Right.
have to get sprayed to look wet like you're sweating.
Right.
And it was freezing. I remember being in the record coldest day in the water. And I believe it was Billy Warlock and I, and that was one of the days that our lips were so blue, we were so cold in that water, they really couldn't use the footage.
Right.
So it was sort of the, hey, maybe we ought to get a water tank.
Right.
Maybe, aha. You know, we were sort of the guinea pigs
Yeah.
figuring everything out. But
That's like Sports Illustrated. They do the bikini sections. They take those pictures in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Really?
yeah, I mean, once it got off on running and went down and then went back up again, syndicated, then they shot in the summertime, and you were out there in the sun, and it was totally different vibe, totally different. And then also too, necklines plunged and G-strings came out, and it was a totally different ballpark when it wasn't on NBC.
Right. Right.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Now you also, from the research, I knew a lot about you because I'm a fan, but you also appeared in Playboy. Is that correct? Now,
Yes.
being that your mom was kind of strict, was she a little? Was she okay with that, or?
She wasn't thrilled. Neither one of my parents were thrilled. They've always been supportive of me, though.
Right.
So,
But it wasn't a vulgar. It was very tastefully
Playboy
done.
was always tasteful, as opposed to the other ones. Playboy was always
Thank
tasteful.
you. Yeah, I mean, listen, let me tell you, I'm a mother of a daughter.
Right.
So I just am so appreciative for both my parents, so much more now on what they've been through, because when I think about my child posing for Playboy,
yeah, it's a little different now, though.
Right,
no,
yeah.
no.
Right.
I just can't believe how, I'm pretty grateful for my parents. They really didn't give me a hard time. My mom will always tell me, she always keeps it real, what she feels.
Right.
She would not tell me, And the thing is, I knew, even at that, 18, 19 years old, I knew, because I had been acting for 10 years, or 8, 9 years already, that it would create obstacles for me, because the kind of acting career that I wanted was choppy. I wanted to have diversity. I wanted to have nitty gritty. I wanted to be able to sink my chops into parts and not, you know what I mean? So I knew that if I did it, it would be people trying to, they stereotype everyone anyway, no matter what you do, whatever you're famous for.
Oh, right. That's the old pigeonhole.
Yeah, so it did make things hard. It definitely did. I had to really work hard to prove that I could walk and talk and say my name at the same time and chew bubble gum at the same time. And, I don't know. It just, it was a different time then, too.
It definitely was a different time. Yeah, definitely.
Well, I have to say, from being, even though I'm in the entertainment business myself, as a fan, you always carried yourself with the utmost class, and besides the obvious attractiveness and all the package that you had, you always carried yourself very well, and that was one of the things that I admired, and I'm sure everybody will agree with me that I admired about you. You weren't just like,
you weren't just a pretty face.
Right.
Oh, thanks, guys. That makes me feel very, very good. Thank you.
So what do you have on the horizon? Is there plans for another TV series, a movie, or?
I am so in transition. I'm kind of thinking of it right now because it's funny. I don't want to be playing what color is my parachute at my age, but to be honest with you, I really am, because I have been acting and teaching. I still coach. I coach privately. I worked at a studio for 5 years teaching, and just, I did a cameo in a movie in December that's coming out, and so that's kind of there, but I'm really, I wrote a kid's book, and I wrote it as a co-contributing author. They had a bunch of different women contribute chapters to a book for young people, on how the difficult paths and where they've led us in our lives and what we can learn from it and that kind of thing. And that was awesome. But I really am working on now a television series, which I'm creating and working right now on getting off the ground.
Awesome.
So it's a different vibe, completely different thing for me. Working with a charity, too, that we're working on trying to get funding for. One of the things I did as an acting teacher is, for about 3 years, I worked in rehab facilities with kids who were dealing with substance abuse and some behavioral issues, trying to use acting as sort of a means of therapy, if you will, but not as a psychotherapist, no,
Right.
just as an acting coach,
Right.
you know, to help them have healthy ways to express and learn self-confidence, you know, just all of the things that it can do for you. So now I'm sort of hooking up with someone who she's got something called Zen Equus, and it's the importance of horses and how horses help so many people who have mental illness or many things, many conditions that equine therapy helps. So we're really working on getting a facility off the ground for her, and so I'm doing different things now. You know, I'm
That's awesome.
I'm working on finding work that is fulfilling and meaningful,
Right.
that I can stand behind with pride. You know.
Well, doing producing your own thing, getting that off the ground, that's a great start.
Yeah, and any way we
Yeah.
can help, you let us know. You consider yourself a friend of the show and a member of our
Aw, thank
family.
you.
Whatever you need,
Thank you.
have an open door to come on anytime you want. Believe me when I tell you. Like I said, and keep us updated on your projects. Let Vincent know, my executive producer, and he'll hook you up. Like I said, you have an open door, and I really appreciate. It was a great talking to you. I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule, and I want to thank Rob Lowe from Casting New Lives for making this happen. And
Thank you, Rob. And Vincent, I left you a message. Vincent, when he emailed me, he left me his cell phone number, and I thought that I saw the number. I'm like, oh, that's the radio station number, perfect. And that's why I panicked, because when I called it, it was just a machine, and I went, uh-oh.
We're gonna have to have a sit down
He's
with
worse than
Vincent.
our intern.
I apologize.
I don't want to get Vince in trouble.
No,
Too
I'm
late.
sure he assumed I already had all the stuff.
Vince
so
is always in trouble.
Anyway, I kept my head on my shoulders, and we worked it out. So.
You did, and it was a home run. Before we let you go, would you do us a small favor?
What do you need?
Would you please do us the honor of a station ID for us?
Of course.
Just basically what you're going to do is you're going to introduce yourself and say you're listening to the Animal House Radio Show on the Hamilton Radio Network.
You might run
You
it right
bet.
down.
She's a professional. She got it.
Are you ready?
Yep.
I'm ready.
Hi, this is Erica Leniak, and you're listening to the Animal Radio Show on the Hamilton Network.
That sounded nice.
That was close enough.
That sounded nice.
What did I miss?
House.
Animal House
Radio
Radio
Show.
Yeah.
You
What
said,
did I
you
said
said
Animal House
no.
Radio
You said the
Show,
Animal
no?
Show. You said the Animal Show.
Animal
Oh,
Radio
no, we
Show.
have to do it again.
But
Okay.
you obviously must know us.
Okay.
The Animal Show.
You hit
Animal
it right
House.
on the
Brings
head.
to mind something completely different.
You're thinking of them horses now. That's what's
I know
going.
the cows, the pigs, the horses, the chickens.
Okay.
The Animal
Damn
Show.
equines.
Animal House Radio Show.
Okay, hold on. The Animal House Radio Show. Gotcha.
Resetting. Back to one.
Rolling,
Okay.
rolling.
Go ahead.
Hi, this is Erica Leniak, and you're listening to the Animal House Radio Show on the Hamilton Network.
Yeah. Woo!
You're the best. You're the best.
Doing the
Erica,
charm.
thank
All
you
right,
so
thank
much.
you guys for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. God bless you, and take care.
God bless you.
None of us will be sleeping tonight. Thank you very much.
I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you,
Bye.
dear.
All right, guys, we're going
Bye.
to take a short break. We're going to be back with Lynn Easterly, country western singer. Don't go nowhere. This is the Animal House Radio Show. All right, everybody, we're back here on the Animal
Yeah.
House Radio.
Yeah, baby.
She was great.
Great
She
interview.
was great. She
Want
really
to
was.
thank Erica Oleniak and Rob Lowe at Casting New Lives. Big shout out to Jim Rose and Monica Morales from Pix 11.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Pix,
tuning in.
Pix,
Make
Pix,
sure you're here
Pix,
every week
Pix.
and
Pix.
mention us on Channel 11. Do you remember that as a kid? You
Yeah.
had to have
Yeah.
this game.
I
You used
almost
to have
won
to
the
go,
basketball game.
Pix.
Pigs, pigs, pigs,
It's
pigs,
so
pigs,
funny.
pigs, pigs.
They should go back to that. That was fun. That's how primitive the games were back then.
And I just want to
We'll
thank
play Pong live on TV.
I want to thank all our listeners and our
Both of
Facebook watchers. Be sure to
Follow us.
to follow us on the Animal House fan page. We also, if you could share our video, we do appreciate that.
Yes.
We
Like,
do,
subscribe.
We
Do
do
it.
all we can to bring you an awesome show every single week. So,
If you use Instagram, check us
well,
out
not
on
every
Instagram, Facebook,
every single week.
and Twitter.
Etch
Yeah.
a sketch.
We haven't got on Periscope yet, but we're getting there. And if you want to check out our show on Spreaker and iHeartRadio, you can get any of the archive shows down there. So just a reminder, tonight's show is brought to you in part by Francesca's Italian Deli, 2119 Whitesville Road in Toms River, 732-363-5555.
Food.
Yes. I haven't heard you say that in a while.
Martin's Paints.
I say it every week.
If Easter is coming, guys, listen to me. Ross has been providing us
You're making
with
me
this.
hungry for meat pie now.
Yeah, he'll make you a meat pie. Any kind of meats or food you need for Easter is coming up. Please
Gabusel.
give them a
Nice meat
shot
helmet.
That would sell.
and tell them that Animal House Radio referred you, and they'll give you a special pricing. Like I said, we had Mediterranean ravioli today and roasted pork loin, and it was absolutely mouth-watering. I thought the raviolis last week were great, but this
This week's were really good.
Ross told me. I said it was an Oscar winner.
They definitely
ravioli.
outdo themselves every week. So.
Anytime you want a foodgasm, order from Francie.
There you go.
For Easter, can you make like a chocolate marshmallow ravioli?
Gene, anybody else you want to give a shout out to? That's
Sharon and Steve.
She's looking at it.
oh
Yep, she shared it too, so
Sharon
that was
who?
really nice.
Sierra?
Sharon, yep.
Sharon. Hey Sharon, how are you? You should stop in one day.
I see Steven. I see
And
Michael.
Jim Rose from Newfoundland, Canada.
And Jim Rose, he's a musician, right? And Monica Morales, it's nice to see her on the. How about Steve Arenas? Any
Yes,
of our
he's-
regulars?
he's
Stephen
there.
Darlene. Stephen
Possibly.
Darlene.
And he's
Darlene.
really digging the new scroll.
Oh yeah,
Stephen Darlene. Stephen Darlene.
Steve and
Darlene and
Darlene,
Steve.
great bunch of people. Oh, Steve, by the way, if you can hear me, I just wanted to find out how you're doing with the video from the Christmas party. If you got a chance to look at it yet.
And not only that, I want to make sure Darlene's okay because I know she hasn't been feeling good with her hand lately.
Oh well, we wish her
So
the
much
best.
love.
And speedy healing if she's not feeling well.
She
and,
must have really laid a beating on Steve.
yeah, you know. But we wish her well, and they're a great bunch of people, and they're always very supportive of us and the show.
Well, not a bunch. They're just two people.
Well, it's a bunch. That's a bunch of bananas, you know. It's a story. And we really love the coffee mugs that they surprised
That
us
was
with.
really
Yes.
nice. That was really
I
nice.
use that
Coffee
daily.
mugs.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah, Gisela uses
I use
hers,
it
and I have mine.
religiously.
I don't
I love
use
it.
mine, but it's on my desk in my office.
Wait, actually, I just stole it from him.
I use mine. I don't even
Why
drink
you touch
coffee.
my coffee cup.
So
for?
now I have 2 cups. in my
Leave my coffee cup alone. She probably put Splenda in the other one.
I do.
I wouldn't dare drink coffee. I'd be
Gisela never has 2 cups of coffee
Already
in the
never
morning.
sleep.
Never. If Gisela doesn't have 2 cups in the morning, stay far away.
Oh, you know what, Dave? I wanted to touch on this for a few minutes, and then we'll go into
Carlo
Ed's thing.
always has.
let
Psycho.
me move out of the way. Let me
What
move out of the way.
happened?
He's very touchy.
I heard you guys talking about something, and I didn't want to get in the middle
Oh
of
my
it.
God.
Somebody, you did a show, and somebody complained or something about Anthony.
Yes.
Anthony who?
Anthony Ennis,
Somebody
his co-host.
complained about
Uh-oh.
Anthony?
How dare they?
They were doing a PTA fundraiser,
Right.
and they said he was too racist and homophobic.
All you had to say is the word
Because of his-
PTA.
You're right. Well, it was because of the joke about.
One joke?
Were you there?
Yeah.
or-
No, I was not at this one, but I know the joke.
But you're
About
doing the PTA.
The Michael Strahan in the wig joke. that he
Listen,
does.
I'm a big supporter of you could say whatever you want, but if you're doing the PTA,
Yeah,
you
that-
should
that you
have
gotta
s-
down-
Yeah, but
like-
one joke doesn't make him all that.
No, I don't. Yeah, well, see, I don't know. Yeah, it was
Well,
only one.
And Mike Sicoli they complained about
Mike's a cold.
Mike
Yes.
Sicoli is
What did
as
he
bad
say
as.
wrong?
because he told a weed joke.
Oh, give me a break.
Well, listen,
Good thing they didn't have me on
That's
that
uptight.
show.
Give me a
though.
break.
That's really uptight.
Yeah, they
stuff.
didn't mention any boundaries or anything. They're like, no, go ahead, do what you want. No, we're offended
Yeah.
by
Maybe
all of that.
maybe they should have smoked a joint and they would have been lightened
I
up.
believe if
Yes.
people are going to a
They
comedy
should have lit
show-
up so they lightened up.
They should definitely look up their comics
They
so
should-
they won't get offended.
They should have brought me on the show.
But see,
They
that's
forgot
not the
about
same
Mike and
thing.
Anthony.
These people were running the show, so they're
No,
Now
the
here-
lady that was running the show got the complaints and told Anthony about
Right.
it.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the.
It sounds to me like no matter what, though, they would complain about something.
Because if it was the
Yeah.
people that are going to the show, then stay home. But if it's the people running it, they're your paycheck. So you sort of
Yeah.
gotta.
Right, but the lady that was running it
Right.
said no,
Right,
it's
they
not a
weren't the
problem.
one that's
yeah,
complaining.
it's not a
Okay.
problem. Go ahead, go with
Because I'll tell you what, I did a show Saturday.
because he's done stuff for that town. He did like the baseball fundraiser.
He does a lot,
Yeah,
yeah.
he does
Yeah.
all the fundraisers in like Middletown and Keensburg and everything in that
Keensburg.
area. And one of the moms said, "Hey, we need this. Could you bring some people down?" And I'm not sure if you know Vinny Fallon, who hooked him up with all that stuff. It was like him, Billy Fallon, Mike Sicoli, and and Shay, and they were offended by Mike Sicoli telling a weed joke. And,
That's ridiculous.
I see. I don't get. See,
Well, look,
that's why I'm so disillusioned.
And because black transsexuals aren't as sexy as Asian transsexuals.
By the way, Mike Sicoli, May 3rd, will be at Reds with me.
Yes.
Telling weed jokes.
You know, it's funny. I did a show Saturday. It was me, Pete Sasso, and Vinny Pastore was the host.
Nice. Sasso's
And-
great. Pete Sasso's great.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. And it was for a church, St. Anthony's Parish, up in Northfield, New Jersey. And I was told beforehand, got to be clean.
Yeah.
No problem. I can do that. You know what? As a comic, you should be able to go either way
Right.
because there's more clean work than there is dirty work.
Yep.
Maybe in the 80s it was different. You know, the days of Sam Kinison or Dice Clay over. A lot of people don't get that. But, however, when I told the guy, I said, yeah, don't worry, I'm going to be clean. He goes, no, you kidding me? He goes, you say whatever you want. Now, these are all priests and
Yeah.
people of the parish.
Well, you got to remember, they're not allowed to say it, but they can enjoy laughing at it.
As a matter of fact, the stage was in like one of these rectory things.
All right.
Oh, we have a call.
All right. Well, all right. I think that's Lynn Easterly. So let's.
Yep.
That's somebody else. That's you.
They
That's
must,
your
They
phone.
must be calling the wrong number.
You probably, Vince probably gave the wrong number.
I don't know. To me, if you have to be clean, you be clean. That's fine. The point is,
right.
As long as the people running the show know what they're getting and they say, don't do this, no that, you don't do that and don't do that. It's no big deal.
Exactly.
But you're going to offend, no matter what you do, you're going to offend somebody.
I hope
And most
so.
of the time, you got one person in the audience complain to the guy who ran the show, and they're going to be upset. And there's nothing you can do about that.
Right. Yeah, no, there's nothing you can do about it, but it's
No.
just weird when they say, hey, it's
Yeah,
fine,
but
go ahead, do what you want.
Yeah.
And you do what you want, and they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, we had a couple
And
complaints.
yet,
The lady wasn't upset. The lady that would put it together
Right.
wasn't upset by it. She said,
Exactly.
just so you know,
Right. And also, what they did wasn't that bad. It wasn't. I mean, they weren't like saying mofo this and mofo that and f that and f this.
Right.
They weren't doing that.
No.
That would be offensive to some people, but not if you're just talking about topics. Come on.
Yeah.
Words aren't offensive. That's
well, like,
crazy.
basically, the premise of that joke is, Anthony has a thing. Hey, when you have transsexuals, maybe you should look at race as a factor before we say we're okay with it, because black transsexuals look like Michael Strahan in a wig, and Asian transsexuals they'll trick
name
you like
is
5 or
Lynn.
6 times before
Yeah.
you give up.
People are so get offended so easily.
So what I was saying is, I got up on stage. There was a little podium because it was in like a rectory type of setting.
Yeah.
I got up. I said, "All right, these people are church people." I got up to the podium. I went, "A reading from the letter of Paul to the Corinthians," and everybody cracked up because it was a religious.
I didn't
joke.
write that letter.
Nobody got any offended. It was funny. The priests were all laughing. So, it's just a matter of some people are just uptight.
Yeah, you can't stop.
And I guarantee it wasn't the priests and the nuns. It was someone in the audience that just has no sense of humor.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always going to be, you can't.
No.
There
can't.
was another comic on the show that was saying stuff, and the one lady goes, I'm so offended, and she walked away. But out of 110 people, I'll take the 110 to 1 ratio.
Yeah.
That's
But
less than
I just-
1%.
I just felt there was a raw deal, and you know what I'm saying? First of all, he probably wasn't getting paid much or for nothing.
Right.
And then you're still going to complain on top of that?
Some people don't realize that either, though.
That's just the way it is. You got some people shouldn't go to a comedy show.
That too.
That's the way it is.
Was
If
I
you're,
right,
easily
Joe?
if you're easily offended by something so simple, don't go. I understand if it's a real dirty, filthy show and you're not expecting it, okay, you're going to be upset. But if it's just a regular comedy show and there's a few things being said that aren't that offensive and you're offended that easily, don't go.
Well, look at you with the, what'd you do, the time in the tent?
That was different. I wasn't told.
No, I'm saying.
That's a little different story. That was my fault for not going with my gut.
No, but you didn't want it. You.
But if I'd known that, I never would have done what I did.
Right. But the guy was saying, please do
You got to do this. You got to do that. And I did it. And then half the tent left. But that's because I found out they were born again Christians. But no one told me that before the show, or else I wouldn't have done that. very simple. I've done clean shows. I've done shows for churches. Keep it clean. No big deal. If you can't do your set both ways, you shouldn't be doing it.
I mean, I have pretty racy stuff
I
in
shouldn't
my.
be doing it.
Not racy. I have pretty edgy stuff. I found a way to clean it up.
There's always a way to say it.
It may
the same
not be
way.
as effective, but any comic that thinks cursing makes their act better is an
No, it
idiot.
usually makes it worse.
Is an idiot, and they should get out of the fucking business.
Right.
That's fucking. I realize motherfucking stupid. They always fucking curse every goddamn time.
Yeah, fucking take it out of the fucking business.
Okay. She's supposed to call you.
Is she calling in?
Yeah.
Who?
All right. Bring her up when
There's
you're
a
ready,
phone
Gene. All right, everybody, joining us now live on the phone is the real deal. She's a country western singer, and she don't pull no punches. Please welcome, and please join us in welcoming, making her Animal House radio show debut, Miss Lynn Easterly.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hello.
How you doing, Lynn?
I'm great, thank you. And you?
We're doing great, and it's a privilege and an honor to have you on the show tonight. And very excited to speak to you. Listen to the music that you sent over, and I was very, very impressed.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you so much. I know you have a busy schedule, so I don't want to keep you too long, but I wanted to definitely talk to you about your work because you're a country western artist, but you got signed to a blues label?
Actually, it's a jazz classical label.
Jazz,
wow.
okay.
That's interesting.
That's nice, actually.
Now, how does that happen?
My managers sent my music over to a friend of theirs, which was the president of Summit Records.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he didn't normally listen to country music, but I made him want to go out and buy a pair of cowboy boots.
There you go.
That's a compliment, I guess, right, in a way?
So we wound up with, they joined together, and we wound up with Summit Country Records as, I guess, made up just for me.
Wow, look
That's
at that.
so
They're moving heaven and earth for you. I like that. That's
Telling you,
good.
isn't that awesome?
So, Lynn, did you have a musical background growing up, or who was your influences, or is it something that you wanted to do at an early age?
Oh, I had so many influences growing up, but my main influence was my mother, who was also an entertainer, and she shared the stage with Red Savine, Bobby Helms, Michael Twitty.
Oh, wow.
And my great-grandmother was an opera singer in Brescia, Italy. So,
Oh, that's right, yeah.
yeah, and I started singing. I started singing probably around the age of 3.
Wow.
By age 10, I formed my own band.
Oh, wow. Your own band. Wow, that's amazing. Well, who was your grandmother was the opera singer?
My great-grandmother, yes, she was an opera singer in Brescia, Italy.
And what was her name?
Cecilia Bonai.
Did you ever hear of her, Joe?
No.
Cecilia, because one of our co-hosts here, Gisela, she's from Sicily, so I figured if anybody would know, she would know.
Well, might be,
No, I'm
might be before
sorry.
our time, though. Giselle's young.
Yeah.
Well, you know, hey, everybody knows Pavarotti, so you know. You know
Well, I know Pavarotti because my grandfather listened to opera
Yeah, but
every
nobody
single
knows the other
weekend.
Oh, okay. So anyway, so you had what was his name? But you said Bobby Helms was one of your influences.
Actually, he was performed with my mother on stage. My
Oh,
mother
wow.
was an influence. One of my biggest influences was actually Tina Turner.
Oh, there you go.
Wow, there you go. You can't get a better
I like-
influence than that.
Great performer.
Right, I love all kinds of music, and I mean, all the way back from bluegrass. You know, my roots, I had bluegrass, so I love Dolly Parton, and then, of course, there was Reba McEntire,
Right.
and I like the Fugees, but I just listen to all kinds of music.
Oh wow, the Fugees. That's an unexpected choice. I never would have. They're a great group. Don't get me wrong. I would never expect a country western artist to say that. But
I like their version of "Killing Me Softly."
Yeah, that was
yes,
good. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
It's a pretty song, too.
So Lynn, when it comes to you have a new album out. It's called "She Won the Loser," right?
Yes.
And tell us about the album now. When it comes to the writing process, when you say, "Hey, listen, I want to do an album, or I want to write a song," what process do you have? Do you lock yourself in the studio, or is it just when it comes to you?
Sometimes I get with a few other people and we write together, And but most of the time, my songs come while I'm driving my car on the interstate. So I usually get the tune first, and then the words follow.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Sounds like Paul.
That's
Yeah,
what Paul said. My co-host here, Paul Veneer,
Yeah.
is an accomplished
Most of my
musician.
ideas come when I'm driving home at night after a gig. No doubt about
Uh-huh.
it. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. It's just like the same thing as a comedian. You know, most of their the good stuff, the true stuff, comes from the real life stuff, not stuff that they have to embellish upon it.
And the good stuff flies out of you. It just flies out. You don't even know where it comes from. It just comes. I once wrote a song between two exits on the Parkway.
Oh, really?
Right,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, it just comes out. Like, don't you feel like that? You feel like you're a middle person and it just comes through you?
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely. So the album it hit in January, so it's already out and available. Is that correct?
Correct.
Oh, good.
Oh, wow.
That's good.
And what can we expect to in this album? What are they if when the people go to listen to it, what can they expect from it?
Well, a lot of it, like my song "Rough Ride," it's about my childhood. And, you know, back when I was chasing hogs and sinking trucks.
Obviously, you're not from Jersey.
I had to learn everything the hard way, so
That's
I
fun.
wrote that about myself.
Oh.
And I've got a song called "Faded Dreams" that was co-written with an author by the name of Nancy Oakley, who has a national best-selling novel called Quest for Serendipity.
Oh wow. Okay.
And they're making a movie out of that song, or
Oh,
out,
wow.
That's cool.
Wow.
out of that book. So the song is for that movie.
Now the title of the album, "She Won the Loser." It's an interesting title. Where does that come from?
It's about a girl that comes home, and of course her boyfriend left with the neighbor that come over with her little short shorts on and her little candy high heels, and so she won the loser.
Oh wow.
I like the combination of the country music with the motorcycles.
Yeah, right.
I like that. It's a cool look.
That's
I
awesome.
had my last album. It was called the Tough Go Shopping.
The Tough Go Shy. I like
It was,
that.
and it was about, and we had a bunch of people on a bunch of Harleys, and
Right.
we actually did a video on that one also, and it was done in Tavares, Florida, with just a bunch of locals around there, and it was really a blast.
Right.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
The Tough Go Shopping, and the people, the angry people that have to pay the bills, they cut up the cards. That's what happens.
Are you out of Nashville, Lynn?
Nashville and Florida. I have residence in both.
Oh,
I
cool.
do a lot of my work in Nashville, but I
Yeah.
was raised in Florida.
I'll tell you what, though, Nashville has always been somewhere that I've wanted to go and
great town.
visit it because
So
music.
much fun there.
Oh, it's just the fun, you know, the whole the Grand Ole Opry and that whole the music scene has it's even more than it was before. It's so enriched now, and it's everybody's
yeah.
a lot of people are basing themselves out of Nashville,
Especially if
now.
you're a songwriter, it's a great place to be.
Oh, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. There's just so much to do there, and there's so many good writers
Right.
to join up with and
Yeah.
stuff. And what's going on? It's huge. It's just gotten
Yeah.
huge.
And if for now, do you have a website, Lynn, or if people wanted
Yeah.
to buy the album?
Yes, www.lyneasterly.com. The album is available on iTunes and Amazon, and I'm sure many other outlets as well.
Oh wow! And well, you know what, Lynn, I want to thank you. If there's anything that we can do for you, you just let Rob know. It was a pleasure speaking to you, and I look forward to speaking to you again. Like I said, you have an open door anytime you want to come on. If you have any kind of album that you want to promote, if you're in the New
tour or
Jersey
something,
area,
yeah.
yeah, if you're in the New Jersey area, please look us up. We'd love to have you in. And
Absolutely.
and on behalf of myself and all the men and women overseas, I want to thank you for the music.
Oh, thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you so much. Lynn Easterly, the website's lyneasterly.com.
Yes.
And so make sure you guys go there and buy this album. If you don't, then you means you're communist, all right? So make sure everybody...
Right.
Thank you so much, Lynn. God bless.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
All right, that was great. Yeah, I actually, when the publicists send me over the music, I listened to it, and it was really some good stuff. And Gisela,
Really good show.
Yeah, Gisela agree with me there. When we were in Texas, we actually found ourselves liking a lot of the stations now.
I know because you came back with a cowboy hat on.
You're never gonna
And you wore
that in a tote bag. You're never gonna leave
like
me
Hopalong Quesadilla. That's what you
I
look like.
wore it one fucking time to a comedy show where him
One
and Levy,
time?
it was a competition. Him and Levy
That's
were the
pretty funny.
judges. So these two get the brain for. I go.
Yeah, I was there.
Do we judge?
I was there.
How
I know.
do we judge the comics? Do we rank them by Spurs?
She's 16. Let him on.
It was he called it like Hopalong Quesadilla. That's what he looked like.
I'll tell you what. As soon as he landed, he wanted a cowboy hat.
I know.
And he wasn't.
Not me. I
stopping
want a
until he
bolo
found me.
tie.
Let me tell you something.
went for like a month.
I'm not a hat person.
I want a cowboy cheerleader.
You're a collector.
No, I'm not a hat person, but I thought I looked good in that hat.
But he is a hoarder, so he wanted a cowboy hat.
He
now.
is such a hoarder.
Only thing missing was the tote. You just needed the tote.
You know what? Seriously. You know what you?
We had to redo the garage. You have to see how many totes he has.
I can imagine.
OMG.
Totes. They're very commemorative totes. I have a Def Leppard tote,
commemorative.
a Guns N' Roses
Wait,
tote.
and he has a lot of patches that he wants to put on a.
That's my
jeans jacket?
Gene, you remember in the 80s when they had the denim jackets with the patches on them? That's my.
They still do that in Canada.
So they really?
I think he should
Yeah.
go to Canada.
Yeah,
no,
I think-
I have a couple of more patches to buy, but my dream is to get one of those retro denim jackets and put all the patches on it and wear it. And then I want 2 or 3 denim jackets. Remember how they used to do the airbrushing on the
Crazy.
back? I want to get the Blizzard
He's
of
so
Oz.
stuck.
I want to get the Blizzard of Oz with Ozzy.
I thought you were gonna do it like Belle Biv DeVoe had it on the
Yeah,
overalls.
that's
You
legal.
should be on the stage. You should be on the stage. There's one leaving in 5 minutes.
Seriously, yes. Paul Van Heer,
We got to give
the Alpha Tornado.
At least I know how to download a song off of my fucking email.
we got to give a shout out to Jim Rose. He got his sister listening in Canada
Yes,
as well.
Alberta.
And what's his sister's lovely
Alberta.
name? Alberta?
Yes.
No, isn't that where she's from in
No,
Canada?
I'm kidding.
Oh.
She,
Her name is Alberta from
Because
Alberta,
there's-
Canada.
no,
she's
there-
listening from Alberta.
What are
That's
the
what I was going to
odds?
say. There's a city in
Yes.
Canada called Alberta.
My name
Tell
is
him you're going there. Tell me when
It's
you're going there.
Cheryl.
Big Jim, maybe we can have you call in one day. Not today because we're booked, but definitely down the road.
We'd love to have you, but just not now.
Yes, not now.
And I don't know if that's Ava or Ava Holly.
Yeah.
It's Ava. Okay.
Carlo will be touring there very soon. Just look for the big hat.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
tote bag.
Look for the Spurs. hey, I wanted Gene. I wanted to find out if Ava got in touch with the bands we had last week. Levy.
Yes.
So Ava, if you're listening, I wanted to know how you made out with contacting
Dom Levy.
Dominic Levy and Thoden Foster and Levy, but it was something else they had.
They're a
name.
great band.
To be honest, I gave them all the information. When she came the next day, she said they never contacted her.
Ah.
So
Well,
that's
their
up to
fault
them. Which,
I just
There
wondered
you
if
go.
they got in touch with you. Or
Oh, they're
not.
20-something-year-old kids. They're a little.
And you
funny.
can't shoot the messenger.
If not, I'll make sure that they
she
get in
did
touch.
offer it to him, though.
No, I'll make sure that they get in touch with her if they haven't done so already. All right, we have a few minutes left. Let's go to our let's see. Let me find his. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
All right, Ed.
It's time for your everyone's favorite segment of the evening. It's called the Way the F
The
Out
Alpha
There
Male
News
Show. Oh.
with Ed the Big Kahuna Ruffalo.
Man has been charged with meatball theft after being found covered in tomato sauce.
Obviously Italian.
Hazleton man hatches diabolical plot to abscond with a pot of homemade meatballs
Nice.
made out of a homeowner's garage Monday in Hazleton Township, Pennsylvania.
The sad part is this is a true story.
Oh yeah.
That's the same about all these stories.
Yes. Police received a frantic call from homeowner Rosa Cangeloso,
Cangelosi.
who
it's okay.
cares, who was in hysterics to officers and cursing and screaming Italian on the phone
Germans, forget it. He's rolling.
about someone who has stole her meatballs. Police caught up to the suspect as he was fleeing the scene while simultaneously trying to eat the meatballs.
Eating the evidence.
Police noticed that Lehman Glenn Robert Potter, why does he have 17 names?
All those
From
sickos
Pennsylvania.
do. All the sickos have middle names.
That's a serial killer's name.
Was trying to resist arrest by hurling the meatballs at the pursuing police cruiser.
That's a sauce and battery.
He was finally arrested at his home in a neighboring town. Police reportedly later found the pot abandoned on the street according to the Associated Press.
That explains a lot.
Potter has been charged with burglary, trespass, and theft, and was wanted on a warrant for failing to appear. In lieu of a $25,000 bail, he was sent to Jesus Christ.
Luzerne.
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 We'll call him Mississippi
Luzerne County
Prison.
No, he's probably in. He's in PA.
Not anymore.
You know,
He's not from Florida. That's
do I
why.
have to use all my John Wayne references?
All right, what do you got? What else you got for us, big guy?
I was really getting into the meat of that story.
Yeah.
Sex toy becomes a real pain in the ass.
Oh, jeez.
A young caregiver was issued a warning to couples after having to get a 4-inch sex toy surgically removed from her rectum.
Rectum? Then they killed him.
Emily Georgia,
I just love being
20, was left almost needing a colonoscopy bag when the stainless steel toy vanished during a night of passion.
Steel?
Colonoscopy.
After attempts to manually retrieve it failed, a concerned friend rushed Georgia to the hospital, where doctors warned her there was a risk of it perforating her bowels. A concerned friend, the boyfriend said, "No, you're fucked. I'm going home." We were having a naughty night in late March and decided to use the toy. I'd never used one before.
It's a pain in the ass.
Stainless steel?
She had it. I think he got too excited and managed to push the end of it in too far. It was a goner.
It was a Cuisinart, folks.
He said, I got Georgia on my mind. She said, you got a poor sense of direction.
I began to panic and told him I needed to go to the hospital. He said it should come out naturally on the toilet. And then he said, sorry, I have work early in the morning, and left. Fantastic. My new
Wow, what a trooper. What a guy. What a guy.
My new hero.
He's the alpha male of the week.
Some people pass stone. She passed a stove.
The pair rushed to the hospital, and Georgia was assessed and then went for an x-ray, which showed just how high up the sex aid had gone. Georgia underwent hour-long surgery, which involved placing a camera inside her before the object was manually extracted. Post-surgery nurses offered the toy as a keepsake, which she accepted, and consequently got stuck up there again and went back to the hospital.
Get out of here.
I can't. I'm not done with the story. Georgia said, if anyone is in the same situation, I would advise to obviously try and get out of it yourself first. But then definitely take yourself to the hospital if you can. It's not as embarrassing as it seems. Yes, it is. People in the emergency room see things like this all the time. Well, I've seen far worse things up people's rectums.
I say, well, at least stainless steel doesn't rust.
You need a large
That's
magnet.
true.
Get a
That's
large
true.
magnet.
But you don't
Just
want to
hang out.
perforate anything either. So.
No, you don't
Ed, that was a great job. Give him a round of applause.
Very nice. Why would you stick stainless steel up your ass? I mean,
Why wouldn't you?
What do you think they're made of, these toys?
Aren't they made of like rubber and latex
No,
and stuff?
I
no.
got
Well-
stainless steel up my ass now.
How are you going to motorize a stainless steel object? You can't.
They
That's
have
why.
it.
Well, yeah, but the
crazy.
Benoit balls are metal, but the other devices are plastic. with
Anal
That's what I'm
beads are
saying.
plastic.
Plastic
Yeah.
and rubber and latex.
I don't know.
They
Why
don't
would you stick
perforate me.
stainless steel?
Hey, there are dildos out there that are made of glass.
That's true.
Might
no,
have choked
I don't
Artie,
know.
but he ain't gonna choke me.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. That's crazy stuff.
It is crazy.
We have another shout out, if I can do. Cheryl Nye, she's a great musician. She does music like from James Bond movies.
Yay,
She's
Cheryl
another,
Nye.
Oh, Cheryl, what's up, Cheryl?
She's
How
another
are-
pop artist from Canada.
Hi,
Oh, cool.
Cheryl. Nice to meet you. We love our brothers and sisters out in Canada.
Keep that
up
that
it.
land nice and clean for us for when we need it.
What's the theme song for Oh Canada? I think it is.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
Is she any relation to Bill Nye, the science guy?
Don't think so. No.
Hey, you never know. You never. Don't say never.
Did she ever get stainless steel stuck up her ass? Because Canada's north.
Yeah. Does Cheryl
Well,
sing
that
the
was
song
South.
like "For Your Eyes Only," like from the?
She writes her own
Good for her.
James Bond sounding like songs because
That's
she's
right.
in
Are
love
they-
with the movies.
Well, wait a minute. Are they instrumental or vocal?
No, they're her. She sings. She's
Does
a
it sound like
talented,
Duran
beautiful
Duran?
woman.
All right, because a lot of the James Bonds have a.
Oh, you would love her. You would love her music. If you like James Bond, you would love.
I love those kind. I love theme songs.
And she does a great job.
My favorite music is theme songs.
Has she
I
ever
love theme
popped
songs.
out of her cake on a boat
You
before?
have to ask.
What part of Canada does it say?
You
know?
have to ask her. She's
Oh, okay.
listening. So,
So
That's it.
Cheryl, let us
Cheryl,
know.
have you ever
Nye.
popped out of her cake on a boat before?
Yes, here's the 3 questions. Are you related to Bill Nye? Have you ever popped out of a cake? And what
Did you ever
was the
get
one
stainless
said?
steel stuck up your ass?
No. What was the one you asked for?
That's what I want to know.
What part of Canada? Because
What part of
I
Canada?
used to do a lot of shows up in Canada in my rock and roll days, and I always loved going up to Canada.
Is she a hockey fan?
Great musicians up there.
Of course
let me
she's
tell
a
you.
hockey fan.
I'm not kidding.
Hey,
And
you
she's a
never know.
curling fan.
I'm not kidding though. Really, I'm not kidding. The best musicians I ever saw in my life were in Canada. They had the best bands, the best musicians I ever heard back.
Well, that's not true because there's one of the greatest bands that ever come out of Canada, and you can't stand them.
Who?
Rush.
I love Rush. I just don't like his voice. I
How
love
could
the
you
band.
not like Geddy Lee?
I don't like his voice. I love the music. I love the
If it
music.
wasn't for his voice, that band would have never made it that
Bullshit.
far.
The music is incredible. Their music is incredible. You just listen to the music. It's incredible.
Geddy
Three
Lee.
guys. The music comes out of those 3 guys.
Geddy Lee and who are you talking about? Alex Lifeson, the
Neil
guitarist.
Peart.
And the drummer, Neil
Neil
Peart.
Peart's one of the greatest
Incredible.
guitarists ever
Of course
played.
he is.
Great band.
Geddy Lee's. Well, what don't you like about his voice?
It sounds like a chipmunk. I just don't like
It's
his
a little
voice. Sorry, I
twangy.
don't like his voice. I
It's a little
don't.
twangy. It's an acquired taste.
Yeah, it is. I tell you right now, they had a lead singer, they would have been a lot bigger than they were.
I tell you what, though.
Lot
Speaking
bigger.
of singers, I went to the G3 over a couple weeks ago on Sunday with me and Steve Keller. It was Joe Satriani,
Love Joe
Phil
Satriani.
Collin from Def Leppard, and John Petrucci. And Glenn Hughes made a special appearance. Boy,
Any
this
relation to
guy's
John
voice,
Hughes?
I don't know, but he
great
what a voice. He's the
musicians.
voice of rock and roll. He sang Highway Star, man, and he hit notes that I swear to God, Paul, he hit them like you wouldn't friggin' believe.
Right.
With a bat.
Yeah, exactly. And you can't
thing you
beat
showed
that with
An
a bat.
aluminum bat.
I'm very curious about
That was
Paul's
hard to
list.
watch.
Oh yeah, Paul, let's do your list. We
Okay.
got a few minutes.
All right.
Now, what is this now?
Top 10
All-time grossing
all-grossing comedy movies.
movies.
Caddyshack.
It's all by money, so it doesn't go by what we like.
Caddyshack.
Right, it's not going to be there.
It's not going to be the
because-
ones you think, I'm telling you.
Caddyshack.
I'm surprised by some of the Caddyshack's name.
Wait, you said this is all about money?
It's all about the top
Grossing.
grossing
How
movies.
much they made at the Ghostbusters.
Chapter 2.
Wait a minute, I got to find. Okay. Where do you want to start? Okay.
Ghostbusters is my guess.
The Ghostbusters not in there. It used to be.
Okay.
It's been knocked down since then.
Are they actually all comedies or? Are these...
Yeah, they're all comedy.
Okay.
Comedy movies, top 10 grossing money-wise.
So you said that some of the classics are not in there.
Yeah.
Would we recognize all these movies?
Yes.
What about prorated?
But you wouldn't-
Is there a list for that?
No, but
No, I'm saying because the dollar amount, $2 a ticket 50 years ago is going to be a
no, it
lot
goes by,
different
the,
than
goes by the, how
$15
much money they made.
How
Right,
about
that's what I'm saying. That's why
Abbott
you're
and
going to get
Costello, Meet Frankenstein.
How about Easy?
None of the classics are
No,
in
Easy
there.
because
Money?
they didn't make as much money because the tickets were a lot cheaper.
Easy Money?
No, that's not going to
No.
No, it'd have to be a modern one.
Back to School? No.
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 You're naming all movies I love, but they're not in the
Super bad.
And some of these movies, the ones you're naming, used to be in the list, but
Yeah.
they've gotten knocked down.
No,
Since then.
Animal House?
No.
Super bad.
That should be in
Watch.
there.
It should be. It's not.
Knocked Up.
Nerds?
Guess what number 1 is? Try to
What?
guess number 1.
We've been
Give,
trying
it,
to
give
guess.
us the decade and we'll
We're trying to
guess.
guess them all. We're not doing a very good
Not-
job.
Number 1 was from 1990.
Knocked Up.
It was like a kid, but it wasn't a kid's movie. It was an adult movie. It was really a kid.
Home Alone.
Home Alone was number 1.
Wow.
200. Oh, what happened here? $285.7 million.
I could agree with that.
Yeah.
That was iconic.
That
That's
made
an
a lot of
iconic.
money.
And that's still making money.
It
It's
doesn't
still
help.
making money.
No, it doesn't help. Dave's
Foul
cheating.
play.
No, I'm not. I'm reading an email about my dad. That's all.
Foul play.
Foul play, no.
No.
No, Foul Play never made a lot of money.
No, I love that movie.
It's a great movie.
great movie.
The albino and the midget. It has everything.
I'll give you number
Dudley
2.
Moore stole that movie.
I'll give you number 2. Another funny movie, but I wouldn't expect it to
Give
make this
us-
much money.
Don't tell us.
What
Give
year
us-
is it from?
Give
What
us some
year?
hints.
Okay, number from 2004. So it's basically new, and they did a couple of two or three another sequel or 2 after that. But it was the original one.
Scary movie.
Was it? No.
Good. Thank God. 'Cause
I was going to say Austin Powers, but that was
I'll give you a
before
hint
that.
of somebody that was in it. Let's see. Robert De Niro.
Oh,
Meet the
Analyze
Fockers?
this.
No.
Meet the Fockers?
Meet the Fockers, number 2.
Wow.
Which is hard to believe.
Well, Meet the Parents was
No, it's a
before.
great movie, but I didn't
Yeah.
think it would be an all-time.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
It
but you
made
gotta
over
remember it's
two-
going by dollar amount.
Yeah,
so
it made
it has to be mostly modern.
$279 million. it made.
Franchise, or yeah, right? You're talking
Yeah.
about the franchise. Okay.
Yeah. Number 3 and 4
Cheaper
are
by the dozen?
no.
No.
Number 3 and 4 are the original and the sequel.
No, I know. I just saw the light change on me. I'm like, oh, who's this?
The
What
original
happened?
and the sequel.
Number 3 and 4 is the original and the sequel.
What decade?
Real recently.
Little Rascals?
2011.
No, I'm kidding.
2011.
Hangover 2.
Yes.
Wow.
That's 3 and 4.
I would have never got that, Dave. Good for you.
Top grossing. Yeah.
Yep. Number 5 is. It's not really a sequel. It's not a sequel.
It's a
It's not a sequel,
it's
but
a
it's
remake?
It's not a sequel. It's
Big
just
Daddy.
It's a sexy
2003.
reimagining?
From 2003. Jim Carrey's in it.
Oh.
Liar,
Ace
Liar.
Ventura?
No, Liar Liar is number 10.
Majestic Theater.
Which one did you say?
Ace Ventura?
No.
Truman Show.
Yes, man?
Nope.
Oh, Bruce Almighty.
Pet
Bruce
Det-
Almighty.
Oh, Bruce Almighty.
That's number 5.
No, Pet Detective. No.
Number 6 is the one we talked about on the way here.
Ghostbusters?
No, it's I can't say who's in it because it gives it away.
Ghostbusters 2.
No, it was a comedy that the guy was gonna make a sequel but never got to make it because he died.
Oh, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Mrs. Doubtfire. number 6.
Robin Williams, yeah. Oh, that
number
made
6,
it.
which was the first movie. He actually owned that movie. He actually produced it and
See,
owned
I
it.
can understand that.
Number 7
Police Academy?
is
No.
a comedy. It's a spoof movie. It's a comedy of like spy movies.
Oh,
Spy Hard?
No, that's not a comedy.
Spy Hard with Leslie
Oh,
Nielsen?
Spy Hard. There's a Die Hard.
Yeah.
No, not Spy Hard. No.
Of spy movies?
Someone from SNL.
Austin
Yes.
Powers? Mike
Austin
Myers?
Powers and Goldmember.
Goldmember.
Dave said that.
I said,
Well, everybody's yelling. So I don't know who's yelling what here. Number 8 is one I actually really like a lot because I like this guy's delivery. It's him
Blazing
and
Saddles.
what's that?
Blazing Saddles.
No, that should be in there. It's
See,
not
that
even
should
in
be
there.
in there.
That should be in there. It's not. The two guys were in it. Had very good chemistry together.
Two guys from Harrison.
Beavis and Butthead. I'm
They weren't a team, but they were good in the movie together. They actually did a couple movies together. After
Lethal
that.
Weapon.
No.
Is
it's
it
not a
Will
comedy.
Farrell, one of them? No.
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 Is it that Step
No.
Father?
I love
Step Brothers, whatever?
I love Step Brothers. They actually got a sequel coming out, but it's not in there. No.
Good cast.
Number 8 is Wedding Crashers.
Oh, Vince Vaughn and
Vince Vaughn and Owen
Wilson.
Missile. Yeah. And Number 9 is a sequel to one we already said already.
Okay, hold
Wedding
on.
Crashers 2.
No, Meet the Fockers is no.
No.
Meet the Parents?
No.
The Spy
Spy
movie.
Who Shagged Me.
Yes.
Yes.
The first one.
Yep.
What's the one with Mini-Me in it? Well, he was in all of
He,
them.
He was
he
both
was, no,
those
he
in
was
it.
in 2 and 3.
Right.
Oh, he wasn't in the first one?
No.
No.
And all the classics are down the list. Like 11 is Tootsie.
Wow.
What was number 10? That was
10 was Liar Liar.
Oh, Liar Liar.
No
Fletcher.
Police Academy on there?
Elf is
at all?
number 13. Home Alone 2 is number 12. Number 14 is Bridesmaids. Meet the Parents is number 15.
Bridesmaids
Wild
are
Hogs.
awesome.
Remember Wild Hogs?
With John Travolta
And
and
all
all
the
the
gang,
biker
yeah.
gang. Yeah.
That was number 16.
I'd rather watch Bridesmaids.
17, I can't
Yeah.
believe this is in it. 3 Men and a Baby. I can't believe that made that much money.
I can't believe they call that a comedy.
You know
Yeah.
why? Because
That was
the,
fun.
there was a whole big thing surrounding that about there was a kid. in
Yeah,
there
with
that,
the ghost in the
showed
mirror.
up behind
Yeah.
the curtain and all
So
that
everybody just
stuff.
kept watching it.
Scary,
Well, that
Scary
helped.
Movie is 21.
Scary movies.
Wow.
Anything from the 70s or
horrible.
earlier? On
I'm looking down the list because it gives me the top 50. So
no
I'm looking
Mad,
down the list.
Mad World, which should have been
No,
on there.
because it's
It
not
should
going to
be
be
on
top
there.
grossing.
Right, exactly. They make money. That's back in the 60s. How much money were they
Slapshot.
making?
And
But
a dollar
every
a flick.
celebrity was in that movie. It was like 50
But
celebrities.
they didn't have the money they're making now.
Yeah,
That's
but you
the
know, something,
difference.
you know,
It's gross.
the same money at the Nickelodeon is different now.
Well, you know what? That's true because Abbott and Costello's movies made like $4 million, but $4 million for
Back then, yeah.
15
That's what,
cent
I would like to
ticket.
see that list prorated, though.
You know?
Updated
Yeah.
and prorated.
Who said Dumb and Dumber? That's number 35.
No one.
Me.
Oh, here's Terry. All right. Gene, when you're ready, bring him up. Hi.
Hey, Terry Shapper, what's up, you guys?
Hey!
What's going on, man?
All right, now he's on
Yeah.
time. All right, everybody, it is 9:15. Joining us, 10:15, I'm sorry. Joining us now live on the phone is a former U.S. Army Green Beret. He is the epitome of what a soldier should be, and we're honored to have him on the show here tonight.
Yeah.
Please welcome the star of the Outdoor Channel's Hollywood Weapons, Mr. Terry Shapper.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice to, first of all, what do you people want to talk about at 10:15? Do you know at my age, I could break a hip right now? I could break a hip talking to you.
What are you in the shower? What the hell are you gonna break a hip?
Oh, no.
Well, I hope she's
no, no.
attractive if you're breaking her hip.
Well,
By the way, it's so, first of all, great to talk to you guys. It was funny because I often have the attention span of a goldfish, and I was like, I had this stuff written down, and I was like, something was bothering me today. I'm like, wait a minute, I have something to do late night tonight. Something to do, and I'm so glad I checked my stuff because I don't look like a jerk. By the way, how old is I'm 52. Is anybody close to my age?
Yeah, we're all in the same range.
Yeah, we're all. I'm 50. Paul is 50.
58. Yeah.
Gisella's the young baby. She's 40.
Okay, so she's young. So my voice, by the way, I just want to apologize because I sound like Brenda Vaccaro from the Playtex tampon commercial.
That's okay. We understand. You know, you had two things to do.
That's from
You had
Midnight
to
Cowboy.
Call into the show and stock up on Metamucil. Yeah.
Thank you exactly. And I kind of failed on the Metamucil bit, so I'm glad we're talking.
You know what, Terry, in all honesty, we're friends with Dan Ram, and we had Joe Mantegna on the show, and he spoke so highly of you. And in all honesty, on behalf of us and all our servicemen and women who are still serving and listening to us on Armed Forces Radio Network, it is a true honor to be speaking to a hero, and I mean that from the bottom.
Oh, no, hey, that's nice, you guys. I'm honestly, seriously, that's really nice of you to say. I'm not definitely not a hero, man. I just was, I got lucky, and I picked... I knew that was the job I wanted to be, a Green Beret. I don't know if you knew this. It was pretty. First of all, Joe Mantegna has become a great friend.
Yeah.
Nobody nicer. There's nobody nicer around, and the fact that he's such a talented guy. But Danny Ram is Joe and I were at his wedding not too long ago. It was really fun. They're just great guys, and doing the show with them, we'll talk about that. But my junior year in college, which was, God, we were still using parchment back then. But it was my junior year in college, the end of it, and just on a random event, man. I was at a friend's apartment, and he had a book about the Green Berets in Vietnam. I was like, hey, obviously I knew who they were, but I was like, hey, can I read this? And he's like, yeah. So I took it home, couldn't put it down, and what convinced me to do it was not the stories of their missions and stuff, which were harrowing and unbelievable. It was the pictures of these cats. It was these black and white pictures of these guys coming out of the jungle after these missions. They had their arms around each other. They were dirty, sweaty, black guys, white guys. They had their arms around the Montagnards. And I thought, these dudes just cheated death, and they're smiling. I want to be that guy. And that's what I did. So I finished my senior year, graduated, and I enlisted in the Army, and it kind of took off from there. I was in for like 9 years.
Wow.
From 88 to 97, and then I got out for almost 4.5 years. I went to classical theater school in New York City. I went to a Circle in the Square theater school, got like their graduate program, and then I was an actor in New York City. By the way, there's a jet flying over my head here where I live on the Outer Banks, North Carolina. You're welcome for your freedom, all of you.
Yeah. Duck, it's an
and so 9/11 is what brought me back in. Long story. I joined the National Guard Green Berets. I was active duty back in the 80s and 90s, and then from October 2001 to October 2016, I was in Special Forces, did a bunch of deployments, and I retired in October of 2016. And it was lucky because I rolled right into Hollywood Weapons, so it worked out pretty damn cool.
Yeah, that's real cool.
We had a previous guest. He's a friend of the show. He's a good friend of mine too. Was in the Army, and he actually the same thing. Right around 9/11, he's like, I have to do something. He wanted to join. I don't know if you know Noah Galloway.
I do, actually. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's a great guy, and he was the same way as you. Once 9/11 happened, he said, I want to serve my country. Right. Now, Terry, when you join, I know when you enlist, to do the Special Forces, is it the same thing as the Navy? Like that, when you want to be a SEAL, it's all voluntary, and if you make it, you make it?
Yeah, well, all of it's, it's everything. Well, that's the interesting thing about the military in general. Not in general, it is. It's all volunteer. So, it's different. The old days when the last draft we had was Vietnam. Right. So now if you join the military, you're signing up willingly, and then also you're signing up for the job you want. Now I signed up in the Army back in the late '80s when I came in. You couldn't go onto the street into Special Forces. You still can't now, but there's a pipeline they put you through. Right. You had to be in the military for a certain amount of time, and I was an infantry guy. I actually was an 82nd Airborne.
11 bang bang.
Dude. Yeah, and it was a great place to start my stuff because, I was in a recon platoon. They busted our ass. We all went to Ranger School. I went to Panama. I fought in the Gulf War with them. Right. And then when I got back, I tried out for Special Forces. It's called Selection, Special Forces Assessment and Selection. It's basically, a month-long meat grinder. If you pass that,
right,
and a lot of guys don't, then you get the honor of attending the training,
which is really hard.
Every day I used to say to people, every day is just a day to kind of fail. And there's different. We're different. We're quite different than a lot of other special ops forces. So like the terms are, people always talk about special operations forces, and that encompasses every branch of special operations guys. special forces, really, if you just say special forces, this is where it's kind of got lost. Years ago, special forces meant specifically the Green Berets because it was the U.S. Army Special Forces. And so everybody on that team's got a specialty.
Right.
There's 4 main specialties. There's medics, engineers/demolition guys, communication guys, and weapon guys.
Right.
So my degree in college was in science. I was a biology, anthropology guy, so I wanted to be a medic based on everything I'd read about them, and I was a good fit for it. But it's a long slog, man. It's the training along with the language stuff. We have to have mandatory language. It's about 2 years just for that. So it takes a long time to get through it.
Yeah.
And then you don't really hit your stride. I always tell people to, you've been on a team for a while and you've deployed and you've trained and you've done all that kind of stuff. Schools are schools, real world experience is what really makes the guys. Yeah. That's really what makes you good.
And the medic's a dangerous job overseas, man. They're the first people they knock off.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, too, with Green Beret medics, I'm going to say this without any brag on my part because I'm just one of them, but we're the best military medics in the world. I mean, we're not just trauma guys. I mean, I put tourniquets on people with legs blown off, but I've helped deliver babies. I pulled teeth.
Right.
I inoculated farm animals, all overseas, and then also, trained and advised and kicked down doors with my, host nation counterparts. So it's a pretty broad encompassing job, and we have a lot of scope of practice when we're overseas. We're expected to do a lot of things, and it's pretty damn challenging. But honestly, it was the best. It was the best life. I mean, shit. I came back in, and I didn't get out till October 2016. In the last 5 years, I was actually what's called a team sergeant. So I left the job of being a medic to basically being the senior, guy running my own team, and I had a great man. My team was so great. They were great. I miss them more than anything.
Yeah. Wow. I know when I was in the service and when they were doing the classifications after boot camp, if they said medic to somebody, the rest of us were grown going, "No, medic, this guy's not going to survive," because it's scary, man.
Yeah. Well, what were you in the Army then? Were you? What
I was in the Navy. I was in the Navy.
Oh, you're Navy. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. What was your MOS? What'd you do?
I was a CTI, which became NSA later on.
I was just gonna say wow, you guys are busy dudes now, man.
Oh man,
the Navy's got great people too. I mean, my cousin is actually a SEAL, and we've worked with, we all work together. It's a big, it's a big team, I guess. But we're a different bunch for sure. The Green Berets are different.
Yeah, it's what was out of all the places you went, what was the most dangerous you felt was the most dangerous for you to be at? What place?
Oh crap! I actually never was on an Afghanistan trip, believe it or not. Just some weird occurrences. I mean, I've been to Iraq more than once. It's I guess actually I felt more dangerous. Some of the places I've been in the last few years.
New York City.
I'm from New York, man. By the way, where are you guys right now? Are you
New Jersey, South Jersey.
North Jersey.
South Jersey.
Yeah, South Jersey.
I'm from New York.
Oh, okay, because I saw a 718 number. I thought, are these mofos in Brooklyn or Queens? Where are you people coming?
You know what it is? When I selected the number for the show, I wanted a really cool-looking number so people would think we were tough. So
what part of New York are you from?
Yeah.
What part of New York are you from?
I'm actually, my family, I was born in the Bronx.
There you go.
Yankees. My dad's from Parkchester, and my mom grew up in Harlem. So I was born in the Bronx, and I didn't grow up there. I was there a little kid, and then we lived in Long Island. I was in Levittown.
I'm from Levittown.
That's where Paul's
I'm from Levittown. Holy shit.
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm from Levittown.
I went to, what's it called? Green Tree.
I went to Island Trees High School. That's why
Island Trees. I went to Island Trees, man, when I was a little kid.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Wow.
I was right around the corner. I used to walk there, dude. I was like a block away from there when I was a little kid.
You're on the other side of Hempstead Turnpike. I was on the other side, towards Wandsworth Avenue. I was off of Wandsworth Avenue.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
You might know each other.
Yeah.
We might know each other. I don't know. That's probably funny.
It's a small
you never
world.
know, bro. It's always, what's so funny, too, about life in general. It's a small world, and it's a big world. It's a huge world, but it's a small world, too.
Yeah.
Here's a funny story, true story. So a few years ago, I had my team. We were in Bangladesh, actually, training these dudes, the border guard guys. We were on the border of Burma. Really interesting place. And we had just sat down with their leadership, and they had this kind of common area, and they had a TV with like Sky News and all this cable stuff. And I'm not making this up. While we're talking to these cats, I look up, and there I am on TV on Discovery Channel from the survival show I did, and it's dubbed in Bengali.
Oh my God!
This is no BS. And I look up, and the Bengali leaders, they look up and they see the TV,
right?
and their mouths drop open, and they look at me and they point to the TV. I go, yeah, I got other jobs. True story.
I'm a busy
True
guy.
story. So you never know who you're going to run into. So
That's
you
right.
just
For
don't be
sure.
a jerk, because it may come and bite you on the butt.
Exactly.
That's right.
You got to be
That's
nice.
right. That's right. That's funny. Love
Uh,
that.
Terry, one of my co-hosts here is a good friend of mine, a fellow comedian as well. He's an Army veteran, and he was very excited that we were going to have you on.
Yes, I am.
Who's excited to have me on?
Dave.
Who is-
All of us. All of us.
Me, Dave Hodge. We're all excited, but I'm definitely excited as a fellow 11 Bravo.
Oh, right on, dude.
There we
Hell
go.
yeah, man. When were you in?
89 to 92.
Oh, but that's when I started, man. I
Yeah,
mean,
out
I came
in
in.
Fort Ord.
I enlisted in October '88, and I was active till June '97, and I came. So who were you with?
88 was when I was the deferred entry program for myself. So I was
What
in
unit
the
did you go to?
7th ID.
Oh, right on, Fort Ord, California.
Yeah, no longer there, but yes.
They're gone now. Yeah, they're gone. They were good, man. I remember those cats. I think those dudes were rolling into Panama.
Yeah, we went down to Panama there.
Yep. Good guys,
When I
man.
got down there, I was at the La Tigre barracks down that way.
Yep,
We
good.
patrolled there.
Actually, 7th ID was a really good light infantry unit. Yep, for sure.
Now, did you go for your language? Did you go to the DLI or over in?
No, so
City?
the way the Green Beret course works it was funny because there was this brand new building put up not long after I was there. This big white building, we called it John Wayne University, and that's where they had all these all the language. They had a lot of other classes there, but the language classes were there. So it was an abbreviated language course. Mine was 6 months actually. DLI is usually like a year.
Yeah.
So I was in because I was assigned to 10th Special Forces Group. I lived in Germany for 4.5 years. Ich war in Stuttgart für 4,5 Jahre, mein Freundin. So they sent me to Czech language school. So I actually speak Czech. I spoke it pretty fluently. And actually in 2012, I did a TV series there. It's on Netflix. And it just came on Netflix a year ago. We filmed it years ago. It's called Close Quarter Battle, and I filmed it with the Czech guys. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, it was 6 months. 6 months of language training, and I was always good at languages. I suck at math. I mean, I can do it, and I did really well in the medical course. But languages are something I was able to kind of do well on. Maybe that's why I'm such a talented actor.
Hey Terry, if a Czechoslovakian woman has an abortion, is that considered a canceled Czech?
Dude, I don't even know you anymore, man. I thought we were friends, and I don't even know, man. Yes, I believe actually the answer is yes.
See, for me, CTIs, they sent us to. We were Alexandria, Virginia. Went to WIT for language. That's what I sent.
Oh, right on, dude. Yeah. It's well, and it's funny because in Special Forces, the Green Berets are a funny bunch. Like we, after World War II, the OSS, the Office of Strategic Services, which was like a really, really cool, behind the lines unit. They did a lot of sabotage, spying, and all sorts of crazy shit.
Right.
They got disbanded, and everybody in that unit basically they went one of two ways. They went to the Central Intelligence Agency, which was formed, or the U.S. Army Green Berets and Special Forces. So we kind of we have a lot of common, I don't know, sort of a common history and also a kind of a common way of doing stuff, So we do a lot of stuff where we're on the ground for a long time.
Right.
It seems low level. I mean, a lot of times it's not we're hitting, big targets, but we're the guys on the ground working with the locals for like a year at a time, and we know the players, and it's sometimes it was frustrating because you want to go in and just wreck people, and it's like we kind of got to do it a little bit differently now.
Yeah.
So
Like
it was a great job.
Yeah, I can't imagine the stories you must have. I mean, have you ever did a book yet?
No, actually, I take that back. A couple years ago, not about that. I did a book. A friend of mine, Adam Slutsky, he's a really great writer. He actually reached out to me a few years ago, and we did a book about kind of improvised weapons, and it was kind of a fun,
that's good,
tongue-in-cheek kind of thing. I wanted to call it the Green Berets Guide to Lazy Street Survival. And I thought that was a good name.
That would have been, that would have been good.
People go, and the publisher, long story, was like, we don't want to call it that because it would seem like an official Green Beret. I said, guys,
it is official.
Any Navy SEAL that writes a book and puts Navy SEAL on it, everybody buys it. If you put Green Beret, they're going to be interested.
Right.
So it was basically a book called Improvised Weaponry, basically fight. And it's a funny book, actually. I put a lot of funny stories in it.
Right.
And it was kind of like things you might not think would be weapons, but it was more of a mindset thing. And I am working on a book now about about cultural stuff with being a warrior, because I'm an anthropology guy. I did a show called Warriors on History Channel, and to me,
I love it.
that's the most interesting thing about. There's a reason why humans do what we do, and it goes back to biology, but also cultural stuff. And this is across space and time. You know?
Cool.
Well, it's anthropology. You should call it Dig It.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I called in at 10:15 for this. You guys don't know. By now, I have already consumed my Perkins Early Bird Special. By the way, I'm also on the couch here looking at my 2 dogs. I actually am involved with senior dog rescues. I always adopt senior dogs, and I just got. On Christmas, I just adopted an old German Shepherd. He's 8 years old, and this dog farts better than anybody else. And I have another old dog named Rooney who I've had for 5 years. He's probably about 13.
Wow.
This dog Turbo, the Shepherd, is just killing him with farts. It's brilliant. And they're looking at me like,
so you have entertainment. That's good.
Yeah, oh, dude, I live at the beach by myself on the Outer Banks in North Carolina.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I gotta have
You know what, Terry? You sound like Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, I got some stories about that too. That's exactly. I wake up in the morning and there's the beach. I walk to the beach. I just was there earlier today. Took a picture with the dogs, and I'm like, these dogs still don't give a you know what. Obviously the news is always crazy, but these dogs are always like these dogs are always good for bringing it back to reality. Where it's like, yeah, dude, when's dinner? I'm like, yeah, you're right. Okay, when's dinner? Yeah, it's me and a couple of dogs, man. That's what it is.
Dogs keep it simple for you. They keep it nice and simple.
They do. They do keep it simple. And Turbo's funny. The newer one. He's new. He's old. I don't know how these dogs know, because Rooney will sleep. He'll sleep all night. He won't wake up if I don't wake up. Turbo wakes up, I guess, as soon. I've never had children, but maybe I heard people say it's the same thing. It's like the minute I open my eyes, I don't know if my breathing changes. Within seconds, this dog is next to me, nuzzling my face, just going roll, 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 roll. And it's like so funny because I'm like, how'd you even know I was awake? Damn it!
They know. They know.
They know. They know. It's like he's holding his paw underneath my nose, listening to my breathing.
That's amazing. So Terry, tell us about the Hollywood Weapons, because Joe and Dan gave me a brief rundown, and it sounds like I've watched a couple of the episodes and I really enjoyed it. I watched the one where you recreated the Jaws scenario.
Oh yeah, right. Yep, that was first season. Yep, that was great. Yep,
the
a lot of fun.
oxygen tank.
So yeah, so it's funny because a few years ago, I had actually done a show for Outdoor Channel. It was called Elite Tactical Unit. It was like a SWAT competition with Michael Hawk, who's a great Special Forces guy. He's a real good survival dude. He brought me on. So I had a great relationship with Outdoor Channel, but nothing really came up. And a couple years ago, they said, hey, we want to do this show called Hollywood Weapons, and we want to test stuff that you'd see on film or TV with guns or other things. Right. And I was like, yeah, guys, that sounds cool, but like, that sounds a lot like Mythbusters. Let's make it different. So Danny Ram, who is the writer and co-creator of it, we just saw eye to eye immediately when we met. And poor Outdoor Channel, they just didn't know what they realized, what they unleashed with he and I, because now I'm playing dress up basically. Playing all these characters, so like we did a Clint Eastwood episode, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Here I am, I'm Clint Eastwood. The co-host of the show is Larry Zanoff, who has become a great friend. He's the head armorer out of this place in L.A. called ISS, Independent Studio Services. They do all the props for like every damn movie and television show out there. Like, if you need a bull of a watch from 1970 for Boogie Nights, they have it.
Nice.
But they have their own gun section, and Larry's got rooms of real muskets and Civil War. I mean, and his encyclopedic knowledge is just embarrassing to me because I'm so bad.
Oh, wow.
But so he and I go riff off of each other, and we create. Basically, the show has become a lot of me messing with Larry, putting him in bad situations where we're like, come on, dude, he's the adult in the room, and I'm the kid kicking his shins, going, come on, we got to test this. It's Die Hard, or it's Predator. And, like, just to give you guys a little taste of the second season, we tested Quigley Down Under, which was a great Western with Tom Selleck. Tom Selleck was on the show. He actually was a great interview. I had a great conversation with him. We have... This year I talked to Gary Sinise. We did a movie that he's in. Nick Searcy from Justified. That's coming on in a couple weeks.
Oh, wow.
And we also, the final episode, the episode finale is going to be me basically dressed like Kate Beckinsale in Underworld. testing the don't you people judge, and like testing the feasibility of can you shoot in a circle through a floor and drop through, of course, to escape werewolves that are chasing you.
Right.
Something that happens to me pretty much every day. So.
That's funny. You know
So
what?
there's a lot of, and I got to say this too about Joe Mantegna, because of him as our, I don't know if we're allowed to call him a producer. I don't know. He's our advisor / patron saint. You know, if Joe Mantegna calls somebody in Hollywood, they're going to listen, not for any other reason other than he's such a great guy and he's so well respected.
Oh,
so,
absolutely, yeah.
you know, because of Joe Mantegna, I mean, I think, you know, Tom Selleck goes, oh, okay, what are you guys doing? And he comes out, and that's huge. And we've already got, I think, for third season. We start filming the third season in April, man. Damn,
It's such a fresh idea, and I loved it. The whole concept of the idea, and Selleck, I knew was going to go on board because he's a big Second Amendment guy.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he is. He's a big gun guy. But, you know, a little backstory, he was, I think, initially hesitant because it's like guns and there's, you know, God, look
Well,
what's
he's
going
already
on.
had his problems with that.
Now, Terry,
yeah, exactly. When he was on that Rosie O'Donnell thing, she was
gosh.
so disrespectful to him.
Absolutely, she was.
And but I think Joe Mantegna basically said, "Hey Tom, you know," he told him who I was, and it wasn't going to be that kind of show.
Right.
And it really, every episode is actually, honestly, it's not like debunking. It's not saying, "Oh, so and so is bullshit," or this show's not. Like, even if if you're a movie or TV fan and you dig these shows, you're gonna go, "Oh, that's so good."
Yeah.
Because you're gonna have fun. Like I hate to say, we celebrate the movie or the TV show.
Right,
It's
right.
like these are things we remember, and the gun stuff. I think honestly, and many times for me, the gun stuff is almost secondary as opposed to reliving some of the scenes and kind of putting it in framework and meeting the stars that were
And you're making it
I
fun.
mean,
You're making it
that's
fun.
Is there any one of the scenarios that you played out was disappointing that say that it didn't work, and as opposed is a lot of it is a lot of the stuff that we see obviously is either CGI or the Hollywood magic, but was there anything that you did that you were like, oh wow, I wish this would have worked? That you would.
Well, that's a great question, man. I think well, I will say this in general. Larry and I were talking the other day about this. We've been surprised out of the 2 seasons we've done so far on how much stuff actually kind of is doable. Maybe with a little tweaking here and there, you know, and maybe with a little bit of changing it. But for the most part, nothing was like, no way. Okay, so one thing we knew for sure we couldn't do. So we tested the minigun from Predator. If you guys know that movie with Arnold and you know, Jesse Ventura, and we had Bill Duke actually. Bill Duke, who was he played Mac, and he's a big, tall, scary black dude. And he's the nicest guy, so cool and gracious, man. Had a great interview with him, great conversation. He actually came out to the range. We knew that you could not, Larry and I, we couldn't fire the minigun with real ammo handheld. You just couldn't control that weapon.
Right. You're talking about
the big.
You're talking about the Gatling gun off of the helicopter.
The Gatling gun, we call it the minigun. It's a mini. It's the Gatling gun, right? It's the one that Jesse Ventura shot. It's the one that
there's no way you can hold that thing and shoot it.
That Bill Duke's character picked up when they were getting attacked. And
them
he just
things are about
spraying.
60 pounds, ain't they?
Okay. What's that?
Aren't them things about 60 pounds each or better?
Oh yeah, well I actually got to hold a real one and actually fired it. Looked just like Jesse Ventura, but it was with huge belts of ammo and it was blanks. And even then, it was like kind of holding a dragon. But like what we did to actually, can you really test it? We mounted it to a hardcore tripod, you know, that we use in the military, and we had a 2 minute. Like this is I haven't shot that much in real life on that gun. A 2 minute burst where we put up all these trees and made up our own forest like it was a jungle, and I just cut it. I was just look at your watch for 2 minutes. That's how long this damn thing went on. That's how good Larry is in prepping that gun. And that was pretty amazing. Like that was cool. Like everything we've done so far. Like there's some stuff that doesn't work, and some of the skill stuff. If it's pure skill, I may or may not get it the first time. And I'm happy to tell people that, you know, we don't fake the funk. It's not like, oh, my God, I can't believe he made that. If I can't make it, I'm going to go, hey, man, that's a better guy could do it, maybe not me. You know, and we don't want to ever do that. There's a couple things that directly as the show, directly as you see in the movie, it wouldn't have happened. And we're like, okay, so that might not have happened. But maybe here's something we could do to have, end this on a good, fun note. And we always do. Like, so far, there hasn't been an episode that honestly, I think sucked. It was all, some of it was a revelation, like, oh, man, no way. And some of it was like, yeah, maybe not, but let's just try this, and all of a sudden something funny or cool happens. So
it's a great slant. It really
yeah,
is.
that's a good question though. Like some of the stuff we know going in, yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. But we'll test it. We'll see if it's why it didn't work, and then we'll see if we can't go ahead and nudge this stuff in its favor. And we tell you that. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. I actually, when we had Joe on the phone, Terry, I had a suggestion. I wanted to see if you guys would be willing to do it.
Yeah.
If you do it, just say our friends at Animal House Radio suggested this. I wanted you to do the scene. I can't.
I'm writing this down, by the way. I'm writing this down.
No, I'm dead serious. I don't know what Lethal Weapon it was when they had the cop killer bullets, and Mel Gibson does like a roll, and he shoots through the top part of the bulldozer.
Oh crap! Which one was that?
I think it was Lethal Weapon 3 or 4, where he goes.
It was 3.
Where Danny Glover throws him the gun and goes, "Riggs, cop killer," and he shoots like holes through the.
You know what, dude? That definitely wasn't 1 or 2, but it was probably one of the later ones.
It was 3.
It was definitely 3. 4
You got it.
Chris
There
Rock.
you go. Someone in the crowd knows.
I like the.
That'd be great.
I like the rail guns in Eraser. Those were cool.
Well, so actually the first. Okay, by the way, it's written down, and if we do it, you're getting full comedy credit.
Cool.
So
absolutely,
because you got to do that. But like this, the 3rd season already, we've got lined up. We're going to do a 70s. I was not going to let this go. We're doing a 70s cop show kind of anthology,
nice.
Which is going to be cool. We're doing a pirate movie one.
Oh, wow.
We got some. I mean, dude, it's like a boy's dream, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, when I got out, when I retired in 2016, you know, I just started. We were actually filming the show, the first season. We were in Arizona at Gunsight, actually. And it was really good because, you know, when you get out of the Army, especially doing what I did, a lot of guys have a hard time because it's like, what the hell am I going to do now? Like, what?
Yeah.
Nothing will beat it, you know.
Yeah.
But I remember we all went out for drinks. I told them a really funny Jägermeister story when I was naked in Denmark. That's for another show. And I just was like, yeah, it was a true story there too.
Is that you
But I
had
just
your
looked at
leather
them and said,
pants
hey,
with
guys,
you
know
at
what?
the time?
You guys are my new team, and I'm glad to be here. And everybody on the show, Danny, Joe, Tim Kremen, the executive producer from Outdoor, Josh and Billy, our editors, our sound, everybody on the show. We have such a good time, man. Like, our camera guys are pros. Everybody, we have such a good time. Like, it's kind of my goal, honestly, is to make everybody laugh at least once a day, which I'm good at because I fall on my ass a lot. And I'm just lucky that I have a good crew. I mean, I get to shoot guns. I'm meeting some really, really interesting, really cool people. And man, I come on, man. What do I have to complain about? I still do because we all suck. But sometimes I just slap myself in the face and go, "Dude, you're doing okay."
Yeah.
Plus, I got 2 big dogs that are farting in my room right now.
Yeah. No, I think that Naked in Denmark would be good for Disney Channel.
Yeah.
Oh, it actually wasn't. It wasn't a dirty story. Do you have time for the story? I'll tell you the story.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So here's the story, and the guys cracked up. So when I was in 10th Group in Germany, we were slated to go up and train with the Danish guys, the Jaeger Corps. That's like their commandos, cool guys. Right? We'd never met them before though, and the mission with them was we were going to up there training with them for a few weeks, but it was going to start. How it started was we got on airplanes in Stuttgart, Germany, and then we in-flight rigged to do a parachute drop. And we jumped, the sun was going down as we jumped into Denmark, and then for like 2 or 3 days, we were actually doing an escape and evade where everybody was after us in that country, civilians and military. And we didn't get caught. We had to do all these crazy link-ups, like link up with a dude at a boat and, and like go under this canvas tarp and cross over canals. Real cool, sort of escape and evade stuff that we all have to be good at and we sometimes don't get to do. And then when that was finished, we linked up with the Danes at their base. And we had to do an obstacle course, which they destroyed us at because it was their obstacle course. Then we had to do a naked swimming relay. Yeah, so here's the Americans, and here's all the Danish guys, but they all look like Dolph Lundgren. And we're like, we had to swim across this dark pond of water. It was cold as shit, by the way. That's why it was small, because it was cold.
Right.
And so we had to swim across the water, put an apple in our mouths from a barrel full of apples and water, and swim back across. And so everybody was freezing cold. We finished it. The Danish guys, of course, kicked our asses. And so they put us in formation. We're a Danish guy next to an American guy next to a Danish guy, and their commander comes out and basically says, "Hey, you guys are great. You know, we love Americans. We tried to catch you. We're glad you're here. Open up." And he takes, and like we're like baby birds grabbing our crotches, trying to protect ourselves because we're freezing, and our mouths are open, and he just troops down the line pouring Jägermeister in our mouths.
Oh my God!
So for me, every time I drink Jaeger, I'm naked in Denmark next to some hot guys. Don't judge. Don't judge.
That's where the leather pants came from. Now we know.
That's where the leather pants comes, and I
thought it was from the Blue
be
Oyster.
sorry for that.
Well, Terry, let me tell you something.
Tyrus was just jealous. That's all.
Yeah. I want you to know that you have an open invite anytime you want to come on this show.
Dude, I'd love to. Anytime, man. If you guys get a chance, if those knuckleheads haven't sent you episodes, I'll make sure they send you episodes of the second season. It's like this Saturday is the Bond. Anytime you want to talk, man, I'd love to. It's an honor, man. You guys are really nice people.
No, it's an honor. It's an honor for us to be talking to you. And you know what? Unfortunately, on my provider, I don't get the outdoor channel, so I have to resort to watching it on YouTube. But I would love if you have any.
No, but listen, God bless Outdoor Channel. I'm grateful to them, but not a lot of people get Outdoor Channel. That's what Outdoor Channel is trying to change, and I think I think they're going to be successful. Actually, Joe's show, Gun Stories,
yes,
and our show, Hollywood Weapons, is they're two big ones for them. It's you know, and I think they're gonna. I think we're gonna. I don't want to give it away yet, but I think we're gonna make it some inroads into some other venues where people can see it. Because I think
I hope so.
Like Netflix.
If you see it, you'll dig it. I'll have them send it to you anyway, man, so we can talk about it.
I think it's going to catch on and get bigger and bigger.
Absolutely.
Terry, before we let you go, would you do a station ID for us here?
Yeah, what do you want me to say?
You just introduce yourself. Say, you know, this is Terry Shepard from Hollywood Weapons. You're listening to the Animal House Radio Show on Hamilton Radio Network.
Hamilton, you got it. Hey guys, this is Terry Shepard from Hollywood Weapons. You're listening to the Animal House Radio Show on Hamilton Network. Don't change the dial. Don't.
Woo! Thank you.
All right. Terry Shepard, everybody. Terry, God bless you. And if you get to New York City area, you get back this way, please let us know. We'd love to have a beer with you and hang out.
Oh, dude, I'd love that. I mean, you guys know I'm on. Greg Gutfeld's a good friend of mine. I go up to do Fox.
I watch you on there all the time.
I always enough to remember they haven't had me up there in a while. So, you know, I'd love to meet up with you guys at any time.
Yes, let us know. And Gisela will make a nice homemade Italian meal for you.
Oh, I'm not going to complain. Ever.
Okay.
I always love when you're on the Gutfield show. I always love when you're on that show. I watch it all the time.
Even back in Red Eye.
He's so cool, by the way. You guys should talk to him. He's really funny, and he's a really nice guy. He and I become great friends.
Anytime, and like I said, you have our, we got your back 100%. Guys, make sure you listen to or watch Hollywood Weapons. It's on 7:30 on Saturday nights on the Outdoor Channel. If you don't have the Outdoor Channel, call your provider and tell them you want it, or you're going to hurt them.
or steal it. Do something.
But Terry Shepard, thank you so much. God bless you, and we hope to see you soon. Thank you so much.
I enjoyed it, guys. Take it easy. I'll talk to you guys soon, okay?
Take care.
Take care.
Okay, bye now.
All right, everybody. That was great. That was great. We ran a little long, and Gene's upset. I know, I'm kidding. I hope he does that Lethal Weapon one. I'm curious to see that. Do you remember that scene, Dave?
Yes.
Where he shot through the, what's it, the bulldozer?
The bulldozer, yeah.
Yeah, you think that's possible?
I have no idea.
not only certain bullets, man. You have to
Somebody
be real.
told me that the one with the jaws where they shot the oxygen tank, it's not possible.
I forgot to ask him about the 88 Magnum.
Oh, shit.
I don't know, but Carla, I think you have selective hearing because he was saying 3 the whole time and you didn't hear him.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear. I didn't know.
Drusella said it too. You were just ignoring them.
I would have loved to.
I'm not ignoring you. I have 10,000
Ignore
people
this
in
side
my-
of the table.
I really would have loved to see a railgun, a real railgun. I would like
They
to see
say that you can't do that thing in the jaws because there's the oxygen, the water. There's no spark.
No, it won't explode.
So I don't know.
It won't explode.
I don't know. That would be.
Shoot a tank doesn't explode like that. Not an oxygen tank, anyway.
But
gas tanks would.
Yes.
Do we have any words that we learned today?
Yes, you learned simulate and commemorative.
Commemorative. I like that.
That was nice.
So Dave,
You know the weird thing? He was talking about that place that had all the antique guns and everything, muskets and everything.
What was the ISS?
Yeah, my dad was an avid knife and gun collector. And
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Growing up, I had a lot of that stuff in my house. And I got my childhood nickname of Pirate because I went to a Halloween in July party,
With the
and
real-
my mom dressed me up as a pirate
With a
and
real
wooden sword, and that's what I did. I went
I don't
back
wanna be a
after my mom went to work. I went back to the house, grabbed a real sword and a real musket gun, and went there. And I was asked to politely never come back when to pick me up. And I was forever known after that as the
How
real
old
pirate.
were you?
3.
OMG.
What are you doing with a knife at 3 years old?
It wasn't mine. It was my dad's.
But you were
still
you were
have it?
smart enough.
I
at
wanted to
3.
look realistic.
Any of the stuff that he collected?
But I
was
don't
it
wanna
like-
be a
He was
pirate.
a method kid.
Yeah, it was a method actor.
any of the knife and guns that he collected, were they antiques or like?
Some of them, yeah.
Yeah, and you still
Mostly
have them?
because as a felon, you're not allowed to have a license.
Yes, I know, Dave.
No, I'm saying my dad, who was
Yeah.
a felon, so he wasn't allowed to have them. So
You still have them, or?
not as many, because throughout the many raids on my house throughout the years, stuff went missing from the cops, and
Right. Wow.
I can't believe he grew up in Levittown. That's amazing.
that was pretty cool.
I can't believe that.
That's awesome.
Hey, you were across the street from me growing up.
He wasn't far. He was
No.
he was maybe a couple miles from me. That's
I
like 2 miles.
guarantee
And if you guys were the same age, you would have went to school together.
No, he's younger.
He's
I'm saying if
about
you
5
are.
years younger,
Yeah.
so you
Yeah,
might
he's
have.
5 years younger.
I guarantee if you talk, you just might know each other
Or
somewhere.
we know people are brothers and sisters of people
Yeah.
we know. Yeah.
I wonder if he knows Kathy Mahoney. What's her name? Eddie's sister?
Patricia Mahoney.
Patricia. Why do I keep thinking Kathy?
He might know Eddie because Eddie's
I'm
older
thinking
than
of
us.
Kathy
No,
Papa.
he
I
wouldn't
don't
know.
know.
Eddie. No, he wouldn't know.
I think he just knows Crazy Eddie.
Patricia's my age. Yeah.
The prices are
Maybe
insane.
Jimmy. I don't know.
I had the same thing.
We
Remember
just
the
wanna
rifle
be
my
part of
father
that.
got from the Nazi? Remember the father?
Oh,
Nazi?
yeah.
Well, there used to be a bayonet on it, and I was playing with it like I was like your age. I was 4 years old. I was playing with it in the backyard. My mother buried it, and never found it again.
Oh my.
Oh, wow.
I'm same thing. I'm out there playing with a bayonet from a German Mauser.
You know why? Because we have the Y chromosome. We enjoy that stuff.
That's crazy.
I found stuff.
'Cause we're
I don't
men.
know.
We
I
play
found
with
stuff in
men.
my father's closet one day. It was pretty scary stuff, but
And then you came out of the closet.
It was the blow up doll.
yeah,
I
exactly.
told you he's a struggling comedian. Came out of the closet.
But
He's not struggling anymore. He's not struggling anymore.
that's gonna be something. That and the toe bag are neck and neck.
Oh yeah.
But it was a great show tonight.
and the
I wanna
cowboy
thank-
hat.
I want to thank all our guests.
Yeehaw.
Roots.
Roots.
Erica Eleniak, Lynn Easterly, and Terry Shapper. Three
Yeah.
great interviews.
Terry
I want to
was
thank all of
awesome.
them. I want to thank Rob Lowe from Casting New Lives, and
All
Dan
our soldiers.
Ram from Aquaviva Productions.
And from Austin Powers, right?
Austin Powers, yeah.
And all our soldiers and men and women and our special forces, all of them.
God bless them all. Dave, what do you got coming up?
This Saturday night, I'm at the Ridgefield Park Hunting Club doing their annual fundraiser. Next week, I will be in Philly for the March Madness tournament, and then I'll be at Roxy and Duke's on Tuesday.
That's a part of the.
No, not this Monday, the 12th and 13th. Sorry, mixing my weeks up.
Is that part of the comedy festival?
No, Meadowlands Comedy Festival. I'm doing that in April.
Very good. And
Uncomfortably Funny podcast. This Monday night, we have a band that we met that night when we were over in the city.
Oh, okay.
CC
Yeah.
Dominique.
Was it Bullet?
Behind the Bullet.
Behind the Bullet, yes.
Cool.
Really
That's a
good
cool
band.
name. That's a
Yeah.
cool name.
Really good play.
It's always good to be behind the bullet.
Yes.
Yeah.
They could open up for the hunting club.
Yeah. You know, I should tell them that.
You
Yeah.
might as well, yeah. That'd be funny. That's a nice little.
Yeah.
All right, this Friday night at the Bayville Elks, Jim DeLacus, myself, and Mr. Shay Farrell will be doing a fundraiser for the Central Regional Cheer Competition team. So if you want to come out, tickets are $25. It's a buffet is included. It's a cash bar, and there will be a 50-50 and an auction as
I
well.
bet you their parents are going to show up.
Yeah, you know what? I did that last year for them.
It was successful.
We had over 100 people.
But it's for the athletics, though, right?
For cheering, yeah.
Yeah, so they're usually a lot more attentive parents.
I'll tell you, they're all
Because they
over
want to go out
that.
and drink and not worry about the damn kids that they left
Absolutely.
behind.
Well, see, there's no kids at this event.
That's what I'm saying. They left the kids behind and they're happy.
Right.
You know, Paul.
They're out there enjoying.
Friday, I'll be at Uncle Vinny's in Point Pleasant, and the following Saturday, I'll be on Long Island at Gateway Comedy Cellar.
Gateway,
at the
Mike
Clarion.
Dillon, right?
Yep.
Ed.
Saturday, I will be at Red's doing a fundraiser for Team Michelle.
Oh, that's
Rogan
right. You
family.
mentioned that, yeah.
And next Saturday, March the 10th, I will be in the herpes room with Black Betty's.
I love that name.
Will you be
Former
wearing
Nancy
gloves?
I'll be wearing a full bodysuit, I'm
funny.
sure.
Bring your latex.
Now, the thing
Wear
with
your
the
rubbers.
Team Michelle, what happened?
Michelle's really sick. She's got several forms of cancer.
Oh boy.
This is a fundraiser for her husband, who I used to work for, kids.
Oh.
We all know they've been very active in the town of Lyndhurst.
So you just pay it forward.
Yeah, they're great people. I worked for John. at my job for a few years. He's a
Well,
great-
I
he's
hope
a great
you
boss,
make a
great
lot
guy.
of money. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope we make a lot of money for him too. I'm donating my pay for the night back into the kitty.
Very good.
So let's hope they all find a cure and get her well again.
What is the situation with the movie? How's that coming along?
Movie's coming along. I'm still filling parts. You know, we're gonna
Fondling the actress. I mean, casting new actresses.
Yes, we're casting new actresses, and we.
You have the couch, right? You have the couch.
Yes.
Okay.
Gene's
So the
daughter.
herpes-
Gene's
that's the
daughter
herpes
says she
room.
wants to.
He's a pillow of the community, of course.
The couch is in the herpes room at Black Betty's.
Look at the look of disgust on Gene's face right now. Look at him.
He wants to go.
He wants to go to Black
Well, I
Betty's.
just want to plug my.
He wants to go home, be yelled at.
I want to plug my website, GiselleBella.com. I created myself this time. I didn't use any other
Good.
people. So I have my store set up.
And the blog.
I have a blog. So get to know me one blog at a time. And it starts from a certain time of my life. Exactly December 3rd, 2012. Until one day at a time. So you're going to...
And the
It's
jewelry
very
is
interesting.
great.
My jewelry is great.
Jewelry's beautiful.
And this weekend I'll
My
probably
uncle's
be
new
at
wife loves it.
Seaside.
Seaside, yes.
They're
And,
having the Casino Pier. They're having an Easter Fest.
Oh, just a reminder, I want to thank again our sponsor, Francesca's Deli, 2119 Whitesville Road, Toms River. Please give them a call, 732-363-5555. Tell them you heard it here on Animal House Radio. This Friday, Jim DeLagas at the Bayville Elks. And this weekend, HorrorCon at the Woodbridge Renaissance Hotel. If you're in the area, stop by. Our friend of the show is going to be there, Tawny Catane. So
Hear that, Timmy Eli? Hear that, Timmy Eli?
Yes, go down there and tell her we said hello and come on down. I'm going to be there for a couple hours on Saturday. And, Ed, what's the date for your ring announcer thingy?
March the 24th is
24th.
Rescue Mania.
Okay, so make sure you definitely check
And
that
Ed is
out.
the creator of new nipple rings.
Nipple, there you go.
There you go.
It's recycling, too. It's
He's
environmentally correct.
He's starting a collection for his
I'm saving room by
Go
crushing.
green.
Yes. Well, on behalf of everyone here and everybody else out there, all our affiliates, thank you for a great show. We'll see you all next week. This is the Animal House Radio Show.
Yeah. Woo!